I was literally expecting to be some aliens there with the.
It was a total feel of that, wasn't
it? Yeah, I was expecting Han Solo to be in the background. And
what was that bartender about?
And welcome back, guys, to another episode of Six and Below. This week, we're in a galaxy far, far away, but it's not Star Wars. I'm Erik. This is Darren.
Welcome in to Six and Below Movie Podcast.
Cue the intro.
Right then, Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
Part 1.
Part 1 of...
Child on Fire.
Is it going to be 2 or is this...
Yeah, it comes out in April.
Yeah, on Netflix in the UK. Yeah, seeing that it's coming out in April. It keeps reminding me now I watch this. Thank you.
However, I don't know if it's going to be below 6 or not, so I don't know if we can actually watch it. If it's a really good one, it makes it better.
It possibly could be, because I get the feeling from watching this one, obviously, that this is just a setup for the next one. So it's just a really, really long-winded setup for something that's going to happen.
I got that. Spoiler alert, if you've not seen it yet, then obviously there is spoilers for this, because the way we do our podcast, we rate films what are below 6 on IMDb, and we pretty much break them down, give it a little bit of commented review, and give it credit when credit is due. And at the end, we do awards. So if you got to give your awards for it, let us know down below in the comments, or you can contact us on email.
sixandbelowpodcast@gmail.com.
That is right.
And again, you can leave comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this. So yeah,
Perfect.
Well, yeah. So Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. Apparently, I didn't see any children on fire. I don't know about you.
I didn't actually. Now you mention it, yeah. It's a weird name, really, isn't it?
But yeah, it just seems like one of these films where it's trying to be Star Wars, and you can kind of see like a bit of the trivia that I'll go into in a bit. It does, with these type of like sci-fi fantasy films, it's just. It's like they just try and shove as much lore down your throat as you can, like even the opening narration. I was just like, I think even on my second watch when I'm listening to it, it was just very much like, what now?
I didn't take a lot of it in.
King? Who? What?
Yeah.
We can maybe play the intro for everyone in a bit and just see if
anybody gets it.
Yeah, if anyone kind of understands. But yeah, when we get into the film, if we can pull up the intro and just let that run with the audio, I think that might be just to give everyone a taste of what we're talking about, really.
It was definitely heavily Star Wars feel to it, wasn't it? And a little bit of Warhammer inspiration on there as well, I suppose.
To be honest, there seemed like a lot of inspiration from everywhere, because as you go through like obviously I'll talk about it more when we go through, but it's almost like at one point it's like Vikings, one point it's Nazis, one point it's like Western, one point it's ancient Rome. It's like they just seem to like don't know kind of which direction to take it in, but there's a lot of kind of sci-fi cliches in here as well, which obviously we'll talk about as we go through. But yeah, it was just it was an interesting one, and it kind of, to me, it came out of nowhere. I hadn't really heard of it before. I didn't know it was coming out, and it was just I don't know. I kind of, if I wasn't doing it for this podcast, I'd have probably waited till the second one comes out.
Binge them both.
Yeah, and doing both together. But watching this one, I think it's a bit daft the way they've done it, because this one is, like I say, it just seems like a kind of intro to the next one. I'm assuming that's what it's going to be. Yeah. So they should have really just either released one long-ass movie, which it's a Zack Snyder film. He's not adverse to doing 4-hour movies, as you've seen in like the Snyder Cut and stuff. So you could have just glued them both together and released it as a nice long epic. This one just felt drawn out and long.
I think it was down to the pacing. It was really slow pacing, wasn't it?
Yeah. And like some of the slow motion effects and stuff, which again I'll go into, just kind of didn't help. I reckon that probably added about half an hour to the film just alone.
I think there's probably 40 minutes at least of slow motions if you counted them all together.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good slow motion, but when it's a slow motion, which is 40 seconds for somebody to like pick a weapon up and then do a kick, you're like,
yeah,
come on, what's happening?
I know, it's like, it's quite clear you're going to do it, but it sometimes makes me wonder whether they actually filmed it that slow and just kind of,
sped the rest of the film up.
You know what I mean? It's like slow motion punch. It's like,
definitely.
Rather than having to like film it fast and then slow it. I mean, I suppose you could just film it at a normal rate, but it did seem a bit tedious, and it does have a lot of not throwbacks, but a lot of, it's trying to be Star Wars, and like I say, it's trying to bring in a lot. I can see what they're trying to do. It almost had a kind of Star Warsy / Dune vibe for me.
Yeah.
Dune. Yeah, because
that's quite a good film.
Yeah, it's not
Enjoyed it.
bad. It's not bad. And because that's the same, that's kind of set up for the next one, isn't it? So is the next one coming out? Is it this year? Is it?
I believe so.
Two with is it Timothy Chalamet, something, whatever his fucking name is. I don't know.
There's a film that he's done where he played a king. Have you seen that one?
No.
Where he's on like a battlefield and stuff. It's like set in England, 1600s or something. Really, really good film. I can't remember the name of it though, but if I do remember it, I'll let you know about it.
The only thing I've really can say that I've seen him in is he was in a Wes Anderson film, because I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. Every time I think of something, my mind goes blank on these podcasts. What the hell is it called? The French Dispatch, I think it was called.
I don't know.
Seen him in that, and obviously he's got Zendaya in as well, which out of Spider-Man. Yeah. So she plays, what is it, MJ? Is it Spider-Man? But that looks quite good, and that's obviously coming out this year. And like, I enjoyed the first one, but even so, that was because that was based on a novel, wasn't it, Dune? Where this one, I think you said you did a bit of research and couldn't find what the basis of it was.
Yeah, because I thought it was going to be like the Hunger Games style. Because when I seen the trailer, it painted the picture of like the poor farmers being dominated and bullied by the big imperial type companies, and all are coming down, bullying them, say, we want this food, you'll go do it, this is the demand. And it felt a little bit like Hunger Games style when I seen it on the trailer. I tried to do a little bit of research for it to see if it was a book or anything, you know, like obviously Mockingjay, etc.
Yeah.
And no, it's original script, original story. It did say it was based, or a lot of its inspiration was from Star Wars as well as Warhammer. One of the scenes, which I'll talk about later on, is pretty much bang on Warhammer, basically. Yeah,
because when you mentioned to me in the week that it was he had like inspiration from Warhammer, I kind of started noticing things like it looked like there was like orcs and stuff about, and some fantasy creatures. Like at one point they're like on like a winged bird horse thing. I don't know.
Griffin.
A griffin. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what the name was. What was I thinking? I was like, is it a Pegasus? Is it?
That's the horse with wings.
Is it?
Yeah.
This clearly had a beak though, didn't it? It's an interesting one. It was just slow, and like I say, it just seemed like a build up. You probably, obviously not seen the second film yet, but you probably just could have put all this into some floating text through space, and just as a bit of a backstory, the rebels have gathered or whatever.
That's what it felt like at the start, but we'll cover that anyway. Do you want to go over the vitals?
Yeah. So okay. I have got a bit of trivia if you just want me to run through that first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, so this was this was written by Zack Snyder. I'll go into that in a bit more detail in a bit. But he first conceived it as a Star Wars movie, and he actually pitched it to Lucasfilm shortly after it was bought by Disney in 2012, but it never got off the ground. The story was influenced by Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurais from 1954, and also A New Hope, obviously Star Wars, and The Hidden Fortress from 1958. Yeah, so there's a lot of facts here. So in addition to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, Seven Samurais, Magnificent Seven, the film also borrows elements from Ultramarines, a Warhammer 4000 movie.
Oh, there you go.
For example, and the use of Latin names for imperial/royal institutions, the design of weapons and vehicles, and quasi-religious elements. So it borrows from all of them. And it also, so most of this information I've took from trivia off IMDb, so if you want to look it up. And the other thing as well that I liked was the rebel group, the Blood Axes, is a nod to the Viking king Erik Bloodaxe. He was the last Viking king of York. He died at the Battle of Steinmoor in Cumbria in Britain, who ruled Norway and the later part of England in the 10th century. The reason I like that is because I'm named after Erik Bloodaxe. Yeah. So my dad is a massive Viking fan. He loves the Viking history and the Viking lore and all stuff like that. Well. So they named me Erik with a K. So I'm named after Erik Bloodaxe. And my sister was almost called Broomhilda until my mum put her foot down and said no chance.
Called what, sorry?
Broomhilda. So she says. I don't know if she's joking when she says that, but I wouldn't put it past my dad. I really wouldn't. But yeah, so I thought that was quite interesting. So yeah, the Bloodaxes named after myself.
That's quite cool, actually.
Yeah. So I'll take that.
Little full circle.
So if you want to go into the vitals then.
Okay, the vitals for this film. Released in 2023.
Yep.
Runtime 2 hours and 13 minutes. IMDb 5.6. And another 5.6 film we've done is IMDb International. I think this is better.
Say that one again.
Oh my God, that's the bank, isn't it?
You did.
I've got it here as well. MIB, right? MIB International.
Yeah,
I say it every time.
You
Say it
do,
every
yeah.
single time. But yeah, I think this was a lot better.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Both films have kind of same parallels because I found both films boring. And what have you. But yeah, I'd say if I had to choose right now, which one are we putting on? There's only 2 DVDs in the corner. Which one do you want to put? It'd probably be this one over MIB,
definitely.
to be honest.
Definitely. Metacritic 31.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, critics 23%.
Really?
Yeah. And audience 58%.
I thought the audience would have been a bit lower than that, to be honest.
No. It's the critics what made this so low, really.
Yeah.
Budget 166 million.
Just for this first one?
For the first one, sort of believe, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. CGI, innit? We've discussed
a hell of a
before.
lot of CGI.
Most of it is. I don't think any of it was actually filmed on an actual location somewhere.
Another planet.
I wouldn't
go. We just got to the moon just so we can film this.
I wouldn't go as no, but they at least could have took it outside and got some fresh air. Do you know what?
No, it was all in a warehouse, wasn't it? Somewhere.
Yeah, it's all in some like little pikey warehouse somewhere.
Yeah,
in LA or whatever.
Yeah, but I think CGI on this was fantastic.
I didn't honestly think that. No, shut up. Go on.
Yeah, so I thought the CGI was fantastic on it. I thought everything was so great. Like the atmosphere, an example of the first scene. We'll go over that a little bit later on as well.
Yeah.
There's no box office gross for this because it's a Netflix special.
Yeah.
It's all done by them, and it doesn't let you know what profit they made or anything from it or what the pay was.
Was it always going to be a Netflix film? I don't know if you can find that out. So it was made specifically for them. It wasn't that they made it and then shopped it about, and Netflix were the only ones that kind of picked it up.
Possible, you know what I mean? I'm not real too sure of what happened behind the scenes. So I can't really compare it against other films of how well it done or in the rankings. That's why MIB International, because that's the only 5.6 that we've done.
Yeah. It is hard when it's a streaming one because we had the same problem when we did the do-over, didn't we? Because that was a straight to Netflix kind of thing. It's hard to find the budgets usually, and even like you say, there's no gross because no one's paying. Well, obviously subscriptions, but no one's going to cinema to watch it as such.
Yeah,
which is a shame, really, because something like this type of film would look brilliant on a big screen.
Yeah, I think this would do really well. To be honest with you,
yeah.
You can imagine going to see this in the
like an IMAX or something.
IMAX, yeah. I think it'd be fantastic in it.
Yeah, personally. It would. Yeah, definitely. Especially with like you say, some of the backdrops are stunning and. A lot of the CGI is good. They definitely, you can see where they spent the money.
Oh, definitely.
Because there's not a massive, well, there's no really massive names in this, is there? So it's not like, I can't imagine salaries and stuff are going to be too much.
Probably Charlie, if anything, Charlie Hunnam. But do you go over the director, written, and who it stars?
Yeah, so it was directed by Zack Snyder. I imagine most people have heard from him, but previous films he's done 300, he did Watchmen.
Oh, is he 300?
Yeah, so he directed that.
You get a 300 feel to this as well, don't you?
Yeah, but he wrote 300 as well, he's one of the writers. So he directed Watchmen. You seen that one? That's good. Really that's good. A good film. Sucker Punch from 2011. That's a 6, so we could probably do that, but I don't know if I want to watch that again. I have seen it. That's the one where she's lobotomized and it goes through like fantasy realms, which is actually in some kind of insane asylum or something.
Yes, I've got it on the list.
Yeah.
The blonde-haired girl who looks in an anime.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't really want to watch that Sucker Punch again. But then Zack Snyder, obviously, as many people probably know him mainly from doing a lot of the DC films. So he did Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Justice League, which he then did, obviously, Snyder Cut, which is like 4 hours long. Good film, though. Good film. I think I recommend it like most podcasts, don't I? I think it comes up every now and then. So then writers, we've got Zack Snyder. So obviously he is known for writing 300, Sucker Punch, Wonder Woman, Justice League, and Army of the Dead.
Oh, that is garbage. If it's one I'm thinking of. Yeah,
that's the one where I think they go on a heist. It's like a post-apocalyptic world where it's like zombies and stuff, but
looks like Vegas.
Yeah, they go to Vegas for like some big heist. I think it's got that guy who plays Drax out of Guardians of the Galaxy in it. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Batista.
Yeah, Dave Batista. Yeah. The other writers was Kurt Johnstadt. So he's known for Act of Valor. So he wrote Act of Valor back in 2012. You seen that one?
think I have.
It rings a bell. I know I've seen it, but I can't remember. I know it follows like a group of Marines, but is that the one where it's kind of like supposed to be kind of not found footage, but kind of like quite realistic?
Not too sure.
And then he also is known for also writing 300, so he wrote that with Zack Snyder. And then the other writer, so this had 3 writers, Shay Hatton. The only thing I could see that he was really known for was he wrote 2 of the John Wicks from the screenplays for them, John Wick 3 and 4.
The shit ones.
Are they? I've not seen them. And then starring, we have Sophia Boutella as Cora. Now, the only thing I've really ever seen her in before is Kingsman. I think she's in the first Kingsman. She's the woman with like swords on her legs.
Gazelle.
Yeah, so she's Samuel L. Jackson's like right hand woman.
Yeah.
In that. I don't know about you, but she just has resting moody face.
Oh yeah, really is, mate.
Especially
really
in this, like just constant all the way through it.
Yeah, it's like smile once in a while. What's wrong with you?
I know, God. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that. Then we have the guy that seems to follow us in every single podcast. He seems to be in every bloody film we do at the moment. Yeah, and I ruin his name every week, so I'm probably going to say it differently this time. But Demon Husunu.
Yeah.
Honsunu.
It's the second time he's been on in a 3-week.
Yeah. Because he was obviously the wizard in Shazam, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he plays Titus. We have Ed Screen as Atticus Noble. We have Mikael Husman as Gunnar. We have Bayduna as Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ray Fisher as Darren Bloodaxe. We have Charlie Hunnam as Kai. And then we have Anthony Hopkins, who kind of does the narration, and he also plays the robot.
Yeah, the robot.
Jimmy, the robot Jimmy.
Yeah, his proper name, JC1345.
What, is that the name of the robot?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Random. But they call him Jimmy.
Yeah, is it Jimmy?
And then there's Stasnar. I'm probably ruining this one. Who plays Tarek, the guy who, I think he's the one that constantly has his 6-pack out. Is he on our background?
Yeah, it's the topless one here.
Yeah, should have known. Yeah, six-pack Benny over there. So
have you got it?
And yeah, I think that's pretty much the main cast.
Charlie Hunnam was also in the Sons of Anarchy as well.
He was, yeah. Have you watched that?
I've not yet. It's one that I want to get into.
I think I've seen like 2 seasons of it.
Yeah.
Before, to be honest, I got a bit bored of it. But he was good in that. There was a good American accent in it. But I'm just going to have a look now, see if he was in actual Biker Grove. I don't know if a lot of people out there will know what Biker Grove was, but it was like a kids' TV program like in the 90s.
Ant and Dec, basically.
Yeah, so Ant and Dec, who were PJ and Duncan originally. Biker Grove he was, he was Jason in for 1 episode he was.
Oh, 1 episode.
back in 1998, yeah. And then he did a lot of TV like Queer as Folk and what else? Yeah, Green Street, Children of Men. He was in that as well. Apparently, that's a good film, Children of Men.
Can't remember that one. No,
that's the one where it's got Clive Owen in it, and basically like the human population is dwindling, and no one's kind of giving birth. It's like the whole world's kind of gone sterile, but then this one woman manages to get pregnant, and it's about like kind of trying to keep her safe in this post-apocalyptic world that's falling apart. But he's the only one really, other than her, the woman who plays Cora, the main protagonist. Other than her, I didn't really, and obviously Demon, whatever his name is. I really, seeing as he's in every film he's seeming to do recently, you'd think I'd learn his name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you ever get around to watching this, I'm sorry that I butcher your name every week, mate.
Yeah, we're not picking you out, by the way. Well. It just happens to be the films what come up.
It's just I can barely read as it is, and yeah. The only other one was that Ed Screen, who plays Atticus Noble, so he's the main antagonist in it.
Yeah.
Which I thought he did a really good job.
I thought that as well.
But I was trying to place him like where have I seen him before, and I couldn't really place where I've seen him. Have you seen him in anything? Because he does have quite a familiar face.
He's got a haircut like Phil Foden. Really shit haircut. That's one thing I noticed.
But it adds to the menace of him though, doesn't it? It really does. It's like he's got like a proper straight fringe. Couldn't have looked familiar.
He's from Game of Thrones.
Is that where I've seen him before?
Yeah. He was the right-hand man for Daenerys.
Oh, right.
Right, do you want to get into the film?
Yeah, definitely. So
the movie starts, doesn't it? A lot like Star Wars.
It does a bit, yeah. So rather than like rolling kind of a backstory like you do obviously through Star Wars and the epic music to start with. It's just Anthony Hopkins, and I'm not being funny. To me, he sounded a bit drunk.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of a slur in there, wasn't there?
It sounds like he's possibly sipping a whiskey whilst doing it.
He probably is. He's like out in the booth, like.
But I don't know if it was just his Welsh accent or what. It just. I did say before that we would play a bit of it. Do you mind if can we pull that up and play the narration?
Yeah, sure. I'll try and get it up for you now.
Succession. But in the royal bloodline's lust for power, they consumed everything upon their planet.
Pretty much just goes on about going from planet to planet, really, isn't it? And taking over everything.
I wrote down here that he just seemed like he was kind of drunk, like he was just kind of half-assing it. I won't be surprised if he even knew he was in the film, to be fair.
Yeah. He's like, what film? What are you on about?
Yeah, but I think it would have been better if they just copied Star Wars, seeing as they're kind of going down that route anyway, and maybe just put a bit of an expo dump in some writing. But because I was listening to these, like, the king and the royal family and got slain, and do you know what I really hate is the Mother World. What a shit name.
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
Like the Mother World.
Yeah. So I put on my notes for the opening bit.
Yeah, go on.
Obviously, it's narrated by Anthony Hopkins doing his little speech and about everything. The movie starts off with a space vagina opening up and a sperm whale comes out.
It does. Yeah, definitely. It is a massive vagina. But
it definitely is. It really is.
They kind of look like they've almost ripped off Marvel a bit there as well, because the way you kind of see the planet through there as well. It kind of reminded me a bit like some scenes off like the Marvels and stuff.
Yeah, Thanos at the start when it comes through.
It is, but the one thing that drives me insane as well with this film is there's no kind of backstory. They're just they're evil because they're going around taking over worlds because.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no kind of like these guys are evil. All right, then we'll just take your word for it. But why? What's their end goal? What do they want? Is it like genocide? Is it what? It's
what I got from it, which like we can discuss a little bit later on as well. Yeah. But we find out. Don't worry. Spoiler alert. Anyway, Cora, she's like the famous rebel. Her and her brother, which has been doing everything. You see a scene later on where she's looking after, and she's been appointed by her father, who took her in. Look after the little princess and the king. Yeah. And then I think the king and the queen and the princess all got assassinated. And then she's got blamed for it. And that's why the Mother World are trying to hunt her down to try and cover up their tracks.
You're only assuming there, because I didn't pick any of that up. Because obviously it says in the beginning with Anthony Hopkins' drunken speech that like the king, queen, and the princess were slain. But it also mentions as well that that they were slain during the princess's coronation. Now, I'm pretty sure princesses aren't coronated until they're becoming queen. Anyway, but yeah, then you have the shot of the ship, and the ship's kind of floating past while he's talking, and it just reminded me, again, just ripping off Star Wars, and the ship design, like you say, it just looked like a giant space sperm whale.
It was, that's what I've called it, the sperm whale.
But yeah, I like I say, I watched that intro twice, and I couldn't recount really much of what he actually said, what backstory he gave, because it just makes no sense. And without actually watching the film first, you kind of, I don't even know why they bothered putting it in there. He was just talking about some random king and queen who's been slain, who we know nothing about, and then something about a mother world.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so then we move on, and we meet the main protagonist, Cora, and she's ploughing a field.
Yeah, getting a little sniff, getting rocks out.
Yeah, that scene though, with the planet in the background, because obviously
fantastic.
I'm assuming Rebel Moon, that they're on a moon of that planet, but I'm guessing that's where the name comes from. But yeah, it does look fantastic, and you've got like a Jupiter kind of looking planet in the background and what have you. But she's out there at night ploughing on her own.
Yeah, so that's what I put as well. Like Gunnar comes out, doesn't he? He's wondering what's going on. Yeah, and then he goes, "Oh, we're having a party out here," and then she's like, "Oh, I need to do some work." He shrugs his shoulders, like, "Okay, then leave it, crack on with it."
Yeah, so do you. Yeah,
instead of helping her or saying like, "No, why don't you leave it till tomorrow?" He's like, "Oh, I'll leave you to it."
Mate, it's because she's got resting moody face. It's like, when you see a woman like that, you just know not to push it. Just don't push your luck. You've asked her, she said no. Just leave it, because all you're going to do is get a mouthful, or even more like bloody. But he catches her though, doesn't he? Having a sniff of the soil.
He does, mate. It comes out like, "Oh, what are you doing over there?"
So she's ploughing, like, so we're supposed to believe that this is a super futuristic world, and yet they're still ploughing fields with horses like back in the 1600s or something. And so she lives with this old man, which is a bit weird. But at the same time, at the party, you're constantly trying to nudge her towards some other fella, isn't he?
Yeah.
Basically, the guy who's caught the meat.
Yeah.
Caught the meat, killed the animal and what have you. And he's kind of like, but what confused me as well is it always seems to be kind of flashes towards that guy, and it's never explained like who he is or why he would even be a suitable love interest for Cora or whatever.
You know what his name is?
No.
Villager 31.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's just Villager 31.
Yeah, he's that how little role he is. Even though the camera pans through him a hell of a lot all the way through it.
The very start, they must pan to him about 20 times.
Yeah. He has quite a few lines, doesn't there?
Yeah, and it's like, it's supposed to be kind of, because at first I thought it's going to be her kind of love interest, wasn't it? But then nothing really happens between them, and it just kind of like the old man's kind of pushing them towards it. But then again, you've got the chief. What did they call him? The father is the chief fella.
Yeah,
They call him the father, and he's obviously just wants everyone to fuck everyone. Because I've got the line here. He says, "Make love tonight for the harvest, for the food we eat, for the gods."
Yeah, thrusting of the hips.
Yeah, and it's like, chill out, dude. There's kids about. But no, the thing that creeped me out when they do go back to this old guy's hut, right? Yeah. So she goes to start getting changed, and she closes the curtains. The curtains are see-through.
That's right, the way.
Why is he going? I swear he's there because just before it pans away from the scene as well, it's like she closes the curtains fully, like that's gonna do anything. And then I just notice him kind of like sit back on his bed and cross his legs, and I'm like, yeah, he's got a fucking hard on there.
Oh yeah, he's well up to somewhere. That's why his bed's like.
His bed is
literally, the bottom of his bed where the feet is, that's where she's getting changed. Yeah. He's like, oh, I've got a good show tonight.
Yeah. To be fair, he probably, when he found her in the crash, he probably just went through the wreckage because he's like that. There's a reason I saved you. I knew there was a reason I saved you and all stuff like this. And it's like, yeah, the reason is that one and that one right there. The boobies.
And he was single by the looks of it as well because I didn't see her partner.
Yeah, and it just, so we find out, like you say, so she's been in some kind of crash and this old guy's rescued her and brought her, and she's been there for 2 seasons, and obviously she's the only one that does night ploughing because for some reason that's what she's on the rota to do.
Oh, I'd graft her.
But yeah, it's like, and then we get a bit of her mopiness coming through, where she's like, I can't love. The very idea of loving a family was beaten out of me, and boo.
Yeah, she does that all the way through it. She drops like little hints, doesn't she? She had like a hard life, and she was trained by them, but yet she doesn't really disclose too much information for it. It's like,
I know.
Why are you telling me if you're not going to go into the full story about it? Do you know what I mean? Stop like dropping like little hints.
It is. It's just daft, and like just how mopey. And could you imagine having to be around her every day? I'm not surprised they put her in the field at night ploughing on her own, because I bet no one wants to be around her. It's just like, oh, what? I'm on duty with Cora. Oh my god, she's so mopey.
Yeah, not her again.
Makes me want to slip me around. She makes Kirsten Stewart character in bloody Twilight look like a happy, cheerful.
Just imagine them two together.
Jesus Christ, it'd be Suicide Fest 24, wouldn't it?
Will be definitely.
Jesus.
Oh. Yeah, so we move on now. We've got the big sperm whale now appears in the sky, and the only person that's freaking out is Cora.
Yeah.
Straight away, she runs over to the bell, starts smacking it with a big sledgehammer to get the warning. Everybody comes out, is like, oh, all right, okay.
Yeah,
she's freaking her tits off.
So they're seeding the fields, and she just looks up, and everyone's like, oh, a spaceship. And she's like, oh my god, drops all her seeds. It's like, do you want to pick them up, love? You know, they're not, they don't
You're wasting a lot of stocks there.
They don't come cheap, them. Like, that's 500 people's food there. Well, but yeah, and then she runs over to that bell because the space Nazis are arriving. Yeah. And yeah, she's just hitting that bell. But have you noticed it? Like, it hardly makes any noise.
No.
And no one pays attention to it at all. Like, she's there twatting shit out of it, just giving it all she's got. And if you just look in the background, everyone's just like,
she's doing it again.
Cora's doing it again.
It seems it's like a daily thing she does. She just freaks out. There's a bird.
Yeah, I was literally about to say,
like, now what is it this time?
Every spaceship looking. Oh, that cloud looks like a spaceship. Oh, she's ringing the bell again. Jesus. But like, and then the space Nazis arrive.
Oh,
mate, they do look like their uniforms. Just like it looks like the SS.
I've generally put that on my notes. I've said. Pretty cool scene when the spaceship start flying into the village, which I thought that was really cool CGI, the way they came down. And we meet the SS Nazi squad.
Yeah.
I mean, the Motherworld Army, led by Atticus.
But the thing is as well, right, so just before they arrive, they're arguing, aren't they, in the Longhouse about what they're going to do.
Yeah, about whether to make a deal with them or what they're going to do. Then we find out Gunner's been selling the excess stock, haven't they, to the rebels.
The rebels,
so they're panicking. That's why the Mother World are here as well.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. They arrive, you know them by reputation, and you know, and obviously Cora knows them because she's the one that like flips out and starts. I think she even says to them, give them nothing and all stuff like this. But it's like, if it was me, I'd be like, well, whatever they ask for, they're having, because they are literally world destroying people. It's like, if they want to take you, Cora, they can have you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so they kind of decide that they're not going to give him anything. They're just going to say like they haven't got anything to give and whatever. But so the space Nazis arrive, and it's like, all I'm thinking is, oh my god, it's turned into Nazis versus Vikings here.
Yeah, it definitely is. That could be a film on its own.
It could be.
It sounds like one of like B-movie titles, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like something like The Meg or something. Plants versus Zombies, bloody Nazis versus Vikings. What I want to know as well, right, is because it's not really explained, who were them like red priest looking guys that
I don't know if they were robots or not.
That kind of follow him about. And I noticed on one of the scenes, and you see it a couple of times, one of them's round his neck has got like this square mosaic looking picture that he just seems to carry around on his neck. What is that for? You think they just had it on the floor and they said, dude, you there, put that around your neck. Oh, that'll do. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I'm going to have a guess they're like priests of some sort.
I've put down priests on my notes, but it's never mentioned who they are. And obviously we find out, well, not find out, but they come into it a bit at the end, like, but you still don't really find out. But I thought, so we meet Atticus, Noble, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We meet him, and he just looks sinister from the get-go when he gives the guy a hug.
I was about to mention that hug. That was awkward.
It was.
Even the guy at the farm was like, do we like pat you on the back? Do we get there close to each other? Atticus is like literally embracing him.
Yeah.
Even though all the farmers, because they're hugging for like 15 to 20 seconds, like a little bit too long, knowing it's like not a hello, it's more of like an embrace.
Yeah, he's just kind of stood there like, hold on. It's like he's never received a hug before. But then again, if a bunch of space Nazis just came down, it'd be like Himmler or someone, from the Nazi party. Like you hear all this stuff about them, and then all of a sudden he comes over and says, I want to welcome you to the mother world. Here, have their embrace, and starts hugging you and starts kissing you on the neck or something, gently caressing your back, your lower back. I'd be like,
what's going on here?
And then as all the soldiers are coming down, like the young soldier walks past and starts checking out the local talent, the young blonde bird. Now she gets a lot of attention in this.
Yeah, a little bit too much, isn't it?
You'd think after that she'd just stay away. She should have just kept a distance, because everything that kicks off kind of revolves around what happens to her in a minute.
Yeah, because like you say, they did try to be a bit seedy to the guards. So we're talking about the guards at the moment, Marcus and the other general guy. I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are like sexual predators basically, and start making a bit of remarks, making her feel uncomfortable and trying to degrade her. And yeah, so she walks off, and then later on, obviously, comes back again, doesn't she?
Yeah. So they're walking towards Longhouse, and he says, the chief guy says, "Come on, we'll go and have an ale up at the Longhouse and what have you." And they're walking through. They're discussing about what they want. They want grain and looking, your land's fertile and stuff like that. And if it was me, I'd be thinking at the time, well, this guy clearly kind of knows what he's almost kind of knows what he's talking about. He's recognised that we've got all these fields and stuff like that, and he's just constantly trying to blag him. And all I'm thinking is, don't do it. Just be honest with him and just say, fine, we'll sell you our excess, because he even offers them triple.
Yeah, because like you say there on that point is because the leader's saying we don't really have enough grain, and then he turns around and goes, well, look at all this land, more than enough for your population. And then he even mentions a comment, doesn't, about one of the girls, like, you got a healthy looking skin. Yeah, because you look beautiful, you don't look famined.
She's quite plump, she's definitely not famined and stuff like that. And he's just saying, oh, we've barely got enough to feed ourselves. And it's like, well, it's clearly, the guy's got eyes, and he does look round, and he does point it out. He's testing him, and he fails miserably. And I'm not saying like, that, these guys are good guys or anything like that. And I'm sure they've heard rumours of him, but they don't have any stake in this war, from what I can tell. They just want to be left to themselves. And fair enough, he's trying to get rid of them, but I don't kind of understand the motivation behind why he just decides he's going to lie to them, because as you can see in a minute, he has nothing to gain from it, because then they're in the Longhouse, and Gunnar opens his mouth, because Gunnar wanted to kind of say, well, let's just go along with it, and if they want grain, we'll give them grain. We do have stockpiles of it and stuff like that. So he says, well, because Atticus turns around and says, well, who here actually leads the farming effort and so on? And Gunnar sticks his hand up and says, it's me. And then he opens his mouth and says, well, we do have some stockpile. We do sometimes have some excess and so on. And then you think he's going to, and then he gets his spirit stick out, doesn't he? So Atticus gets his spirit stick from one of the guards, one of the guys in red, isn't it? One of these priest fellas. And so then it looks like he's about to go and teach Gunnar a lesson, because he's saying, I'm going to teach you how you should react to your subordinates and stuff like that, stepping out of line. And then he turns around and starts battering and kills the
leader.
Guy,
yeah. I thought that was really good acting as well by Gunnar there, because you could see like the fear in his face, because he's the one who's thinking, shit,
I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. He's going to attack me. He's even going to the leader guys like saying, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm sorry about it. Then the leader's even saying, no, don't hurt him. It's not his fault. And then, like you say, he just turns around, Atticus, and just pummels him in.
Yeah.
And then, did you notice one of the guards as well when the wife ran towards him?
Lightsaber.
No, the Halo energy sword.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, it looked exactly like the Halo energy sword.
I put down that he has a lightsaber.
Yeah, just cuts her.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any markings. They don't even cut through the clothes or anything.
No,
when it kills her.
He just gently tickled her, mate. That's what it was.
And then Gunnar starts freaking out. He's like, I don't know what you want. And Ash just turns around. Everything.
Yeah.
Which is like, oof.
And he's like, well, we only have, he says, we can give you, what does he say? You can give
10,000.
10,000 bushels. And he says, what do you want? Everything. Don't understand what you want. Well, it's simple. I want everything.
Yeah. He says, doesn't it? Like, we only harvest 12,000.
Yeah.
And you want 10. And he's like, we'll be starving. No, we'll starve us out. We won't be able to survive like that.
Well, that scene though, you can feel the tension in the room, and I think that the guy who's playing Atticus Noble, he plays it really well. He plays it really. He's proper sinister. He almost looks kind of like the smiling kind of. There's one point in it when his kind of expression changes, and he does that. And then kind of like his whole attitude kind of changes, if you know what I mean. It's hard to do, but he plays it so well. And like you say, you can proper tell the tension that's going on.
Yeah.
And then it did surprise me when he killed the chief guy though.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
No, I didn't. I thought, oh, that's Gunnar getting killed.
Yeah, it did take you by surprise, didn't it?
Yeah.
So then the SS Army actual go then, don't they? And then leave a couple of their army guys behind.
Some South African fellas.
Yeah, some South African tribe. We get to meet JC-1345, the upgraded C-3PO.
Yeah.
And the South African division of the Mother Outworld's army. They're staying behind. We were a total dicks as well.
Yeah.
Except for that young lad.
Yeah, the young lad, he was a bit like, even... Cause he unpacks one of them robots, doesn't he? And we hear from one of the South African like leader guys that... he's...
Marcus, that one.
Was it Marcus? So,
yeah.
So he says that, oh look, we've got ourselves a Jimmy. They won't fight since the king died. They kind of put their arms down and won't fight and stuff like that. He says, look, and then starts shooting him, doesn't he?
Yeah, are they bulletproof then?
Well, I don't know.
Because they were shooting him with like lasers. They're not like normal bullets, are they? Like your 9mm or something. Like shooting him with like lasers.
Full on like blasters and that.
Yeah.
But I don't get as well, right? Why does the kid get in between him and the robot?
I thought, because it's...
Be like someone shooting your fridge and you're getting in the middle of it saying, yeah, don't shoot. You wouldn't be taking a bullet for
you can tell, like, these are more than just machines, though, because they got feelings, cyborgs and stuff, aren't they? Because even the general turns around and says, go to the water and clean yourself up.
I was wondering that. Why would you bother sending it to the water to clean itself up? It seemed a bit weird that. Yeah, go down to the river and clean yourself up.
Yeah, so pretty much, like, treating them more of, like, a human than what a robot would be.
Yeah. But the South African, the hell of that accent. That's a Jimmy, man. Whoop, whoop, and pounds his chest.
Yeah. I actually checked, on IMDb, because it's quite a good accent that he's done. He is the actual South African. Yeah, it's from
Cape Town or something.
Cape Town or something, yeah.
Yeah, it tells the robot to go to the river and clean himself up. I didn't quite get that bit. Why would you bother? Just say you got mud on your face, crack on.
Yeah, I'll just wipe it off or do whatever,
Yeah.
But then he starts having a little bit of talk then, doesn't he, with the girl?
Yeah, so with Blondie, who causes all this in my eyes, but like I say, I'm not victim blaming and what have you, but that was weird as well. So it was all just a setup for a bit of an expo dump on it.
Yeah, that's it. It's just basically a little bit more of a background, saying he used to be the former king's royal family and his dead daughter. And then obviously when they died, they've just give up and then started serving whoever's in charge now. Like, and then we have a little bit of the village meeting now, don't we? So the villagers are having a meeting about what to do about with the army. They believe their work would do the fighting and show how important they are to the mother world, and hopefully they'll be a little bit lenient.
They're so deluded, to be honest. At this point, it's ridiculous. Your main guy's just been killed, and it's quite clear the mother world aren't going to give a toss whether you're farmers or not. Oh, look, we'll just show them how useful we can be. And it's like, I'm not being funny. They want your land. They're not asked about you. They've even said earlier on that, you know, they'll pay them 3 times to go in a mount, and then they'll even be able to afford some robots to come in and do the work for them. And that's when you mentioned before that they say, oh, we like doing it by hand and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, the mother world will just say, well, Dodger, kill all the villagers, and we'll just bring in robots like Jimmy to do the work for us. We don't really need you. But they're so deluded that they think that this guy that's just literally beat your leader to death over pretty much nothing.
Yeah, literally nothing.
Yeah, is gonna, and then they even say, oh, we'll appeal to their humanity. No, have you met these guys?
Humanity is long gone for them.
Yeah, because the South African guys before as well have just like, you know, the blonde girl goes past and then he says, bring me some water. And that's why I was saying, like, after that encounter, he brings him some water and he gets a bit rapey. They start like kind of trying to feel her up and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm thinking, you just keep your bloody distance, wouldn't you? But they don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like, oh, our farming skill, they'll be forced to spare us, that will appeal to the humanity, to the men in the granary and all stuff like this. And yeah, and then what does Cora decide to do? Oh, I'm going to sod off, goes back to her hut and starts packing her bag.
Yeah, they've got their little plan whilst they're arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Cora makes sure their plan doesn't go ahead.
Yeah.
She kind of like throws a little bit of a spanner in the works. I mean, fair enough, she's helping the girl at this point.
Yeah.
The little blonde girl, she goes out getting some water.
Yeah, right in front of where the guys are as well. So basically, she may as well just be flashing a pussy, because she knows by this point that they're a bit handsy, they're a bit rapey, and they're very interested in her. It's quite obvious. If it was me, I would be keeping my distance from them. I wouldn't be going
out on your own.
I know she's clearly the village water woman, or, you know, because that's all she seems to do is go and collect water.
That's true.
You definitely at night wouldn't go any. I'd be like, I'm keeping my distance from them. Can someone else do my duties? I'll even go and plough the fields with Cora at night.
Yeah,
you know, I'd rather not be anywhere near these guys.
Yeah,
but yeah. So they basically drag her in and start getting a bit rapey.
Because that lad, he's the only one who was actually standing up for her, wasn't there?
Yeah,
and he starts to getting punched.
He does, but the other thing as well is, right, so did you say it was Marcus, the kind of the South African guy?
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop laughing when he walks over and he's got his wife beater vest on and his pants pulled up to his bloody nipples. It's like, oh hi, his pants are he looks like Humpty Dumpty. Or like, I thought at one point when he starts fighting, he looks like one of them men who, like, from like the 1930s, who would come out like that with the pants up there and go, come on, bring it on.
Yeah, with the arms like, come on.
Yeah, come on. And it's like, I think Family Guy do like a skit of it as well, when some guy walks in and he's like, he's got his thing and he's going, I'm just going to wait here for you to breathe out. But yeah, it's like, pop her up to his bloody nipples.
What do you think about that fight scene?
Oh, to be honest, I liked it. I thought it was good. So she hears like little Blondie. I don't even know what her name is in the film, but little Blondie. She hears him, like, obviously that they're about to start gang raping her. You think at one point that the chief, the main, like, he's not a general, what is he, like the leader of them men, comes down, and basically you think, oh, he's going to put a stop to it, but
no, he's like first dibs.
Yeah, I've got first dibs. Yeah, you can have sloppy seconds.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this guy's lead by example, isn't it?
But she's listening to it and she's like, oh, fuck's sake, I'm going to have to go and do something now, aren't I? So she picks up an axe, and this is kind of where it all proper kicks off now, where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. So she goes in and she comes in, he's like, leave her alone. And she's got the axe there, and you're thinking, oh God, what's she going to do? And then the guy walks up, but I just thought one of the guards goes up and just points the gun right in her face and goes, give me the thing now. I couldn't tell whether it was in slow motion that she was giving him the axe, or whether she was just taking her time thinking, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do? Shit. I've got myself into a bad situation.
I was watching that, and I watched it really careful the second time round, because I thought, no, it was slow motion. But it's more of a hesitant, because you can see her arm actually moving like back and forth slowly, a little bit, so it's not like CGI'd slow motion, like the rest of the fight scene.
I think she twats one of them with the axe, and then she does that kind of flip with it. I thought that was ace.
Yeah, really good. And it was like, say, a little bit like 300 thing. But it's the classic trope, isn't it, when they're on a fight scene? Instead of everybody jumping in or shooting her, it's one at a time. And it's literally one at a time. She'll kill one, and then the other guy will step up, and then she'll kill him.
Yeah.
And then somebody else will step up. And then all the way through this, did you notice the general who had the blonde girl as hostage? He's pointing his gun at her all the way through it.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you shoot?
Exactly. He's got nothing to lose.
No, he's got a clear shot.
I don't get that in some films. You know, yeah, you've got a hostage, you're not getting shot, but why don't you just shoot her? What are you waiting for? What does it matter? Even when Jimmy comes in, so the robot randomly turns up to see what's going on. Jimmy comes back from wherever the hell he's been. And he goes, kill her now. And it's like, you've got a gun pointed at her. Just shoot her.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
They're stood there. They've not got anything to hide behind or anything.
No, absolutely nothing. And it's like, why doesn't he just shoot her? But as the film went on, I know we mentioned before about the slow motion, but I'm starting to think that that's Cora's kind of unintentional superpower.
That special ability.
That she can slow time down.
It does seem like it, though, doesn't it? It's pretty much every single fight scene that she's in, this slowed it down every single time.
But then one of my favourite bits of the film is when Jimmy comes in, like we said, and he says kill her, and he kind of looks down at a gun on the floor, and he starts slowly picking it up, and he's like he's never seen a gun before, but obviously since, as we found out, since the king died, they all laid down their arms, so he's kind of thinking about it, and then he just shoots the guy, but he doesn't even have to aim or anything. He just goes poof, shoots the guy taking the girl hostage.
He's literally holding it side on,
just holding it outwards.
At first, I thought it was either the lad or Cora that killed him.
Yeah.
They had to wind it back. I was like, where did that come from? That gun?
But it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
It just shows what a badass that robot can be if he ever decides to start fighting again, because he didn't have to aim. He literally just got him square right between the eyes, missed Blondie, and I just thought, wow. But then he drops the gun and just legs it, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
And that's it then, isn't it? Until later on.
And we don't really see him again.
Yeah, we'll see that later on, won't we?
Yeah. And then Cora decides that she's going to leave and try and find some general called Titus.
Going off then, aren't they, on their little adventure to try and find Titus and the Atifa group. The Blood Axes. And she takes Gunnar along with her on the journey. And to do a little bit more of a backstory again as they're sitting by the campfire.
Before she leaves, the old fella that she's been shacked up with, the one who's been watching her get changed every night, suddenly comes over and gives her a gun and goes, I found this in the wreckage. And all I was thinking was, for Christ's sake, do you not think that could have come in handy before? Like,
yeah, 15 minutes ago.
The Nazis, even when the Nazis arrive, here's a gun just in case it kicks off. Like,
yeah.
Because you've seen what she can do. She just took down a whole battalion of men on her own.
But the thing is, if he'd done that, then the film would have been over, wouldn't it? Because she would have killed Atticus straight away.
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, yeah, it's done now. Part 2.
Because she's a badass who can slow time down. You know, it's the horses as well.
Yeah, different names, aren't they, instead of horses?
They're just horses with shit on their head.
Yeah, it looked a little bit weird, didn't it?
They were a bit weird. I didn't really like them, but yeah. So she goes off. Gunnar decides he's going to go with her because obviously he sold the grain. She's like, well, can you show me who you sold it to, and maybe they can put me in touch. I need to go and find this general guy for some unknown reason. So he goes with her, and then they have a little bit of a campfire, and then we kind of find a little bit out about Cora, don't we?
Yeah, a little backstory about her. But it turns out like she was found as a kid after her world was destroyed by the mother world and adopted by a general called Balsaurus.
Hello, Thanos much?
Yeah, it is actually, yeah.
She could paint her green and she's Gamora.
Yeah, it really is. And he's a little bit psychotic as well.
Yeah. But I have put here as well. I know he's obviously supposed to be the bad guy, but the fact that she mentions that he likes to lead his army himself on the ground rather than sit up in his ship. So he's like a general who actually goes down and fights with his men. I'm like, props to him. Props to him. I mean, you wouldn't get that nowadays.
Oh, yeah, Rishi Sunak, yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine, yeah.
Imagine him on the front line fighting against Russia.
I always thought that. I always think like, you know, if you're going to if someone like Rishi Sunak or who's the president or Joe Biden or whatever, if you're going to send people to war, you should be on the front line with them like the kings in the past, where they would be on the battlefield with them. Maybe not the front line, but on the battlefield with them. I mean, if you're going to make the decision to like sacrifice people, your own citizens, then you should be there taking the brunt of it as well.
Yeah,
fighting
definitely,
with them.
100%. That's why I agree.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough about politics.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But yeah, at least he gets his hands dirty anyway.
Yeah, so they were trained, but she was actually trained by the Motherworld Army.
What I don't get though is when the general finds her in that alleyway and he puts the gun to her and he pulls the cock back on the gun and puts it to him and she holds it. She pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
What's that about? Why doesn't the gun go off?
He knew it wasn't loaded or anything. He was testing her.
Was it not loaded?
No, I reckon if...
Because that's the other thing. They use laser guns, but yet they have magazines and clips in them. What's that about? Is it batteries?
God knows, mate. I've not got a clue how the ammunition works in this, honestly. I don't know if they had jaws or batteries or bloody...
all I can think is that they're just changing the batteries.
I think he knew that the gun wasn't going to kill him, and he was doing it as a test. So I think if she didn't pull the trigger, he would have just killed her.
Right.
But because she was willing to do it, he's thinking, right, I can actually turn you into my little protege, which she does mention as well.
Yeah.
And wants her to be the poster child of the wars.
He takes him up to the ship, doesn't he?
Yeah.
She even makes a comment saying there was no softness from the other soldiers on the ship. And I'm thinking, is that why she's a mopey bitch?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Do you know when you see the king as well?
Yeah.
So the king, like with the staff in his hand, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is that the same staff as Atticus has got?
Oh, I didn't notice that actually. I noticed he had something in his hand, but I'm not too sure. Possibly.
It looked, and then I was thinking, well, maybe in an effort to try and make a profit, the people who make them staffs maybe made more than one.
Yeah. But don't you think he looked a bit like Will Ferrell?
Did a bit, yeah.
Yeah, he had Will Ferrell dressed as a pope. That's what I put him down as.
Will Ferrell. He did a bit, I will give you that, yeah.
The battle scene as well, then when she comes through the ship.
Yeah.
And obviously she mentions that she was kissing another guy because they get...
They're
encouraged, didn't it, to find love? Yeah.
It's weird that because in most movies, when you see like a military thing, they don't like people hooking up because obviously love interests and babies and stuff like that. It just kind of. But she does mention that they were encouraged to kind of partner up with other people, and surely that kind of will take their mind off.
Yeah, but that whole scene though, when she comes out the ship, and then puts the flag up at the end, that is just Warhammer.
Oh, is
that whole scene, the way what they're wearing, the armor, the guns, the way they're fighting on the planet, and then she stood there with the flag, like.
I thought that was pretty corny because we got a load more slow motion through that scene. It was a pretty alright, like kind of not action scene, but kind of war scene. But when she has the flag and she's kind of spinning around in slow motion, do you know what it reminded me of? Have you ever seen like a dog when they go for a shit and like?
They can't decide which place to go.
Decide and they're kind of following their arse around and going around in a circle. It kind of reminded me of that because it's like she's got this flag and she wants to put it in the ground and she's spinning around and can't decide where she's going to stick it.
Yeah, because she's on a giant rock.
And then realises she's on a fucking rock and plants it down and you even hear it go dink. And then,
I'll just hold it here instead.
I know. But yeah, me personally, if I'm in the middle of a war zone, I'm not going to stand up on a big rock and start waving a flag because you're just asking to be shot there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm assuming maybe everyone's dead by that point, but yeah, it's like she doesn't know where to fucking put it. So then her and Gunnar finally make it to the port city, don't they?
Yeah, port city of Providence, planet's belt.
And then it kind of goes a bit Wild West. So they go into like what can only be described as a kind of Wild West kind of spaceport.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? Because, but you see them, don't you, hiding in like an alleyway between two buildings. The contact for the Antifa group, he's been captured by the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And they're getting took away. It looks like a scorpion. I don't think I can say it's like a scorpion chair.
I like them things, the way they did it. Like it kind of just unfolds itself, grabs them, and then kind of grabs them. I didn't know what to call it on my thing because I was like, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of, actually? Beetlejuice.
Yeah, actually, yeah. With the chairs.
Yeah, the chairs come alive, like the dining table. It's the exact thing.
It is literally the chairs from Beetlejuice, yeah, you're right.
Oh, no,
yeah, I never even thought of that. Somewhere. I knew when I was watching it and I was like, I've seen something like that before, but I couldn't place it, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So they go inside and they're pretty much in an alien gay bar. Crossed with the Star Wars one.
I was literally expecting to be some aliens there with the.
It was a total feel of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was expecting Han Solo to be in the background. And
what was that bartender about?
Oh, I don't know.
It was really weird.
But we get a shot of like all just like random aliens kicking about and like doing their dodgy dealings and all stuff like that. But it did have, to me, it had a Western vibe as well because at one point they even flashed to like some guy in drag, like some kind of old bloody the old bloody prostitute, but he was a bloke in a dress.
The bar they was in had the swinging doors as
yeah,
well.
Yeah. But it was like they had just suddenly gone into a space western. It was weird.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
Yeah, and then we meet Sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah, because he comes over, doesn't he? Asks Cora if Gunner's for sale.
Yeah,
and if you can take him upstairs to give him a good pounding, basically, and then grabs his bollocks.
Yeah,
and he's like, you know, that's a bit forth.
Grabs his little his gonads.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, but I was thinking, I was like, he looks between. The guy looks across between Sloth from the Goonies, and I'm thinking, how's he got into space? And some guy who got halfway through filming and his mask started slipping off. It just looked like a loose mask on his face.
That stood too close to the fire and it started to melt a little bit on one side.
Yeah, and then so she basically gets pissed off that he's grabbed Gunner's gonads and decides that she's gonna like give him a little bit of a beating and kicks him out of the bar. Makes the stupidest mistake that they all do in movies when they're in a bar like that. Stands up in the middle of everyone and goes, "I'm after some information." What is with that brain thing that's kind of got that corpse that he's carrying around?
Yeah, I put that. Yeah, it looks like a little squid tentacles, isn't it? And using the human as a puppet.
Do you think he has to carry that guy around with him everywhere he goes?
I think so. I don't know how. Like, would he be able to like jump on the head of him and like he'd be able to? It reminds me of actually Krang from Turtles.
It does a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it just needs a microwave in his stomach.
It does, yeah. It really does. But it also reminded me a bit of Independence Day. You know, when they have to use the bodies to talk through because he's like kind of squeezing his neck.
Yeah, same principle, isn't it?
Yeah, and talking to the guy. But it's like, did he bring his own body or did he just kind of find some random guy in the bar and just start using him to talk through?
The guy's gone on a fucking like a night out or something with all his mates.
Yeah.
Like, where's Dave gone? Oh, he's been fucking took over, mate. He's lost. He's gone.
That little brain guy, Kang's using him at the moment.
Yeah, he's gone, mate.
It was weird, that. It was weird looking. That guy was creepy.
Yeah, it really was a bit creepy. And then the nonce pops back up as well, doesn't it? Says like, obviously,
comes back with his mate.
You should have killed me and all that stuff. A little cool fight scene happens, loads of slow-mo shooting, etc. And then Kai, that's where we meet Kai now, isn't it? Because he steps up, shoots the nonce as he was about to try and shoot Kara from behind. But yeah, I like one thing I really did like about this scene was the CGI with the guns when they were shooting. And you can see like the cloud of smoke just puffing out of the gun, every time they took a shot.
Yeah.
In slow motion. I thought like, it looked really, really cool.
It did as well, but it confused me as well, because is it a laser gun or is it like gunpowder or what?
Because it was like a laser, it was laser coming out, but it had like the puff of smoke at the same time, yeah.
Coming out the end of the gun, yeah.
It looked really, really cool.
It did look good, but it did confuse me at the same time. But yeah, so we meet Kai and...
AKA Han Solo.
The thing is, right, with this guy, okay, just to talk about Kai a bit, right, why is he doing a Northern Irish accent? Charlie Hunnam's from Newcastle to start with.
Oh, is he actually?
He's from Newcastle,
Geordie, yeah.
He's a Geordie.
Right.
But yeah, so they've made an obvious choice to give him an Irish accent, and he sounds proper Northern Irish. He's like ginger and community.
Yeah.
Full on. Bit of Jimmy Carr there. But full on, all I was thinking throughout the whole thing is, what's his motivation? Why is he with them? Why is he following them? What's he doing? And obviously, we find out at the end, but surely they should have been thinking that at some point. What's this guy got to gain from any of this? We just found him in some seedy bar. It's like, but yeah, it's so he decides that he's going to join them, but he wants to make a stop off on the way, doesn't he?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right, they met Han Solo in the seedy bar, didn't they?
They did, yeah. Yeah.
Which obviously they've met Kai in this.
Yeah.
And then Kai has his own ship.
Yeah,
a little bit like Han Solo.
Because that's it. Because they wanted someone to get him off the planet in New Hope, didn't they? Because that brain fella tells them where Titus was last seen, and then they're like, oh well, we need a ship, and then all of a sudden one is presented. Ask the universe, and the universe shall provide. What I don't get is like with films like these, with sci-fi films, when they go to all different planets, they all seem to just be one biome or one kind of culture there. Like they'll go and there'll be a planet full of like, I don't know, like ancient Romans, or they'll go and it's like a complete desert planet. Same in like Star Wars and stuff like that. They'll go to one planet and it's just a cloud city and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yet you go to obviously Earth in real life and you've got every fucking culture under the sun on one planet and stuff like that. So why couldn't Titus just be like down the road? Or like in a different country. Why do they have to go halfway around the galaxy to each of these individual planets where there's just one theme for that particular planet?
Yeah, that's true.
Am I making? Is that clear what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like you say, because the next scene is literally, it's called Frontier Homestead.
Yeah.
On the planet New Woody.
Yeah, and it's just one big like desert homestead in it.
Yeah. And this is where we get to meet one of our other heroes, Tarek, which reminds me of a caveman version of Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Don't you think it looked like Matthew McConaughey, but like on steroids?
Yeah. We go to the Nazi ship and
you get Atticus in a hookah bar.
Yeah.
Looks like he's doing them hookah things, doesn't it? And then he's getting a bit freaky with an octopus.
Yeah, I put, is he into tentacle porn? He's not even smoking the pipe though. He's like attaching them to his like torso, and like they're either sucking something into him or sucking something out of him. I couldn't really tell what he was doing, but he has all these like sucker marks all over him. And then the guy walks in, doesn't he, and says like they found this rebel guy who we seen being arrested at the bar at the beginning, taken away, and then all of a sudden these tentacles start coming out and like hugging him and what have you, and I'm like, is he about to go and have sex with that octopus?
He was, because he even said, "Oh, easy now," or something.
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know. It was really, really weird.
I just don't get why. Who was sat there writing the script and thinking, tentacle porn?
Yeah. Just random tentacle porn in the middle of two like scenes basically on the story.
How can we make Atticus seem a bit more sinister? I know, we'll have him fucking octopus. I don't even know how to do. I'll put a video up on here of what's going on, but I honest to God don't know what the hell it was supposed to be.
It was weird as hell.
Yeah, so anyway, so we arrive at the ranch. Yeah.
Get into the other bit now, right? Okay, so we got Matthew McConaughey
in his
to release him from the slavery. He makes a gamble with the trader. If he can ride the griffin, he'll be freed.
Yeah, if he can tame
and
it.
I thought that was a cool scene as well.
Yeah and no. So before he makes the bet, they go and speak to him, and what I don't get is right in front of his capture thing, the locked up, he's doing time with him, and they just casually just start talking about wanting to get a load of people together, and they're going to go and find this Titus fella to take down the mother world and stuff in front of this guy. You don't know who he is or anything like that. And it's just like, and they weren't even going there originally to get him. It's only because Kai's just said, "Oh, I know a guy."
Yeah.
I think I need to make a stop off. And all of a sudden now they say, can you come and do that? And telling them the whole plan. And it's like, you don't know him. You don't know why are you talking in front of people? Why didn't you just ask for a quiet word or tell Kai to distract him or something? But he's clearly in the background listening. You might want to just not go around advertising what your plan is.
Yeah, what did you think about the flying scenes?
Bit too long for what it was.
Yeah, it was long, but I thought it was really cool.
I think they could have.
I really liked it.
I mean, he's kind of. I put down here that he's kind of some mystic Native American who's kind of the flying horse whisperer.
But I don't know how he stayed on the bird though, because there was no saddle or anything. He just had a piece of rope.
He goes over to it and he's bowing to it and everything, and he starts speaking some random language that all of a sudden this bird, what do you call it, a griffin?
A griffin.
This griffin thing can understand him, and he's saying, "I know you've been betrayed, and I know you've lost your trust," and stuff like that, and then goes and betrays and breaks his trust by jumping on the back of him, sealing his mouth up and flying off with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dude, no, you like some 6-pack ripped bloody Native American fella, and it's just like it was almost like they were just trying to get across the fact that he's kind of, I don't know, like spiritual and down with the earth and whatever, and that type of character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and as they go to walk off, like the trader tries to get on, he gets eaten by it. Yeah. And then I'd put it as like, it's a shame they couldn't take the griffin with him, because that would have been quite cool.
Yeah.
If he had that as like his little pet, he would jump on it and fly around doing his like things.
What was with the spiky rocks as well? You get rock formations like that on Earth. Because you seem to have them in a lot of these sci-fi movies. Did you see them like when they're full on like spiky rocks sticking out?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like I say, it's a bit of the biome, bit of character to the biome, so it's not flat.
For a character we just met and we don't know and what have you, they just spent a lot of time watching him fly around on that bird.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know, I didn't really like it.
Yeah, then we got the next bit is Dagus, the cobalt mining planet.
Ugh.
So we meet Nemesis for the first time, and I've got which looks like from the Wicked Witch from the West End show Wicked.
You watch Rick and Morty, don't you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one when he goes off with 2 crows and it's like samurai kind of Jack or something?
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
She reminded me of that, like with the hat and stuff, like the big brimmed hat. And then at first I'm looking at it, I'm like, where do I know her from? And at first I thought it was Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not, actually.
No, yeah.
The only thing I've seen that I could have slightly recognised her from is she was in Cloud Atlas.
Not seeing it.
I've seen about half of it. I fell asleep. It's pretty boring. Got good ratings, but I don't know. It's that's a film that seems to go on forever. But yeah, I don't know who she's supposed to be, but I don't really think she brings anything to it. And then she goes and fights the spider. Now, my first reaction was, who's fucked a spider? Because there's some kind of human spider hybrid thing.
There's an old game I used to play, and I tried to get you playing it recently. A game called Ultima Online, where it's like a medieval fantasy role-playing style game.
Oh, yeah.
Right, now I'm going to show you a picture of one of the beasts what are on there.
Oh,
right,
right.
they call them a terrapin. Now, is that not exactly the same?
Yeah, pretty much. But green,
Right?
yeah.
And they even have like a spear. What to use? Exactly like what this spider thing was. I thought they meant to be like a really good swords master. She was shit.
Yeah.
She was like really, really bad. And even at the end of like the fight scene wasn't even that great.
No.
And then she turns her swords into bloody lightsabers to kill it in the end. But like, why didn't you do that straight away?
That's what I put. I'm like, she kind of makes him into like flame swords, and I'm like, why the hell didn't she just do that anyway?
Yeah.
And all I put here as well, just what we need, another bloody morbid woman.
Yeah. Morbid as hell. Don't really do anything about it. She gives a little bit of a backstory that her kids were killed.
Yeah, can't even take a compliment
When she's trying to talk to him and stuff.
But what I
and
don't
then I put on it as well. It's like, why is everybody just stood around watching it fight instead of actually just shooting it?
That was literally what I was about to write, because even Cora gets a gun out and is stood there, and it's like they all just like, oh, we're just going to wait and see. If she survives, she can join the team. And the other thing as well is, why are these people even joining the team? They've not given them any concept of what they're going to do. They've not offered them any kind of rewards or anything that I can see. All they've done is they've just turned up at a planet, said, I hear you're good with a sword, and do you want to come and join us? And it's like, what's she getting out of it? What benefit?
Yeah.
Is she not needed there, where there's obviously spider people nicking kids and whatnot, and for some reason she's the only one that can go and actually kill them?
Yeah, just does pest control, doesn't she?
Yeah, and it's like, it's almost like it's trying to be some kind of message, because the spider says, oh, they're ruining my air, and I was here first, and you've took over this planet, and blah-de-blah-de, poo-poo-poo, boo-hoo type shit. And it's just like, it's almost like they were just trying to get a message across about like taking over ecosystems of other animals and kind of forcing them out and stuff. And it was just like, it was that kind of underlying theme, you've made the air uninhabitable for me and all stuff like that. Who cares, love? Have you looked in the mirror recently? You're literally a definition of a monster.
Yeah, it was a bad scene anyway, the whole thing. I didn't really like it.
It didn't need to be there. I know they're just trying to kind of show her skills as kind of like some kind of fighter, but like you say, the fight scene wasn't very good, and she only won by the skin of her teeth.
Oh yeah, barely.
Yeah. It was terrible. It didn't really need to be in there, and she didn't add anything to the film. Whether she's going to come into play in the second one, I don't know.
I hope so. I do hope so.
But there she is, right at the end over there, on the far left on the picture behind us. Yeah, just behind Darren there, just looking all morbid and Japanesey.
Over there somewhere, yeah. We get a little bit more of a background of Cora, don't we?
Yeah,
she starts telling us about how she became the elite guard of the royal family and Princess Isa.
Yeah, so she becomes like the bodyguard of the princess. Now, that princess had magical powers. What the hell's that about? So now we find out there's some kind of magic in the realm as well.
Yeah, so the dog goes killing animals, like brings it back to her to bring it back to life.
Yeah.
So she can go kill it again.
It's a bit cruel, like, isn't it? Poor bird.
It's like, do you know what? I'll bring you back to life. My dog, which just killed you, is literally 2 feet away. As soon as you fly around, the dogs will jump up and rip your pieces again. Straight away. But then Cora actually mentioned as well that the role was appointed by her father.
Yeah.
And she even says, how would I have known what was about to happen?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying to you before. That's why I think she's been like pinned to be the bad person in what started the war that killed the family.
Right.
That's what I think what's happened. And that's why the rebellion started, because it said her and her brother started the rebellion.
Well, at the same time, there's still like, and like these, you kind of meet the king as well, because she has a little bit of a conversation, because she's saying that the king wants the princess to bring compassion. And then I'm thinking, well, they're kind of showing this king guy in like an almost good light, that he seems like an alright chap. I know it's only a small scene and what have you, and he's talking about the compassion of his daughter and stuff like that when she comes to power. And I'm thinking, well, this prick has started all these wars, and he's sending people off to take over planets and stuff for a reason we still don't know why. We don't know what the hell it's about, why they're even doing it, why they're expanding their civilization and whatever. And it's just like, fuck you, dude.
Before the king died, was the actual going out fighting everybody and killing everybody, or was it after his death?
See, I don't know, because she obviously, you see him there with his massive bloody army after she kind of graduates from whatever military school, and then you see her in a war where her lover, whoever that guy is, that she was kissing, is dead and stuff. So but we don't know whether they're just defending something or whether they're actually going out overtaking worlds and stuff, but they do give the impression that they were doing it while he was alive. So then they head to Rome, or the Colosseum, or whatever. Again, another biome, another kind of, it's like almost ancient Rome in it. So we get like
it's Moon of Pollux,
and it's like a big like kind of Colosseum, and apparently Titus has been fighting in there or something because he lost a load of men.
Yeah, so he's a gladiator again.
Yeah,
because he was actually in the film Gladiator with Russell Crowe as a gladiator.
Yeah, good shout actually. He was, wasn't he?
Yeah, like little full circle there for him, isn't it? I put on my notes as well. You would have thought he'd learnt the last time he was in the Colosseum.
Well, yeah, he's sleeping in the gutter, and they find him in the gutter all covered, all dusty and whatnot, and then they get him hosed down. And then apparently their best hope is in this random general guy, which I don't know why. And then
that's it. He joins them. Nothing happens. There's no fight scene. I was expecting to see like a fight scene in the Colosseum with him.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. He just stands up.
You don't see any. All you see is like a body getting dragged out of the Colosseum at some point, and then some woman kind of walks him over to him and says, "Here's General Titus." There he is. There, that guy on the floor, that dusty guy. So they go and get him washed off and stuff, and then he's like, "No, I don't want to join you." So what does she do? What's her recruitment technique? She just shouts at him.
Yeah, just shout. You were the general once. You were looked at. You can do this to get your rebellion.
It was funny though. Did you see like his beard and that? It looked like someone had just stuck a Brillo pad to his face.
A little bit like Team America.
It looked, it literally looked like someone had just glued it to his face, or like just got some cotton wool buds and just kind of glued them right to his face. It just,
was, wasn't it?
It just looked silly. That's pretty much all there is in that scene. And then we're back at the Nazi ship, or the interview the rebel chap. And for some reason now Atticus is wearing a white shirt and black tie, which is a bit... It threw me off that. I don't know why, because obviously it's just normal attire for us, but in a sci-fi movie, you don't really see people walking around in a shirt and tie.
The thing is, well, what this reminded me of, very much so. Have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
They wear the same attire as what he wears, with his little walking stick. So they're going around fighting. It just reminded me of that, especially the fight scene with him and Cora later on.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of the Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I know what you mean, actually, yeah. I didn't realise at first, but he says that he's going to, that guy gives him all the information about where to find the rebel guys, the blood axes.
Yeah.
And then he says, I thought you were going to let me go, but I thought he killed him, but he doesn't, he just paralyses him, doesn't he?
Yeah, so they can dissect the brain. On
that weird chair scorpion thing, they have some kind of gun thing that goes into the back of the neck, into the spine, and paralyses them. So technically, he does let him go.
Yeah, and then they get his brain for dissection later on.
Yeah, and then we head to... So we found out now that the blood axes are hanging out on the planet with Jar Jar Binks.
That's what I've put in my notes as well. King Levitica.
Levitica, yeah.
On planet Sharon.
So... But the thing is, how easy has it been for them to find out where the rebels are hanging out? It seems like everyone knows.
Yeah, except for Atticus at the time. He's the only one who's got, where the hell are they? Where are the little bastards hiding? Everybody knows, don't they? Do you know what I mean? He's with Jar Jar Binks at the moment.
And they're chilling out with Jar Jar, yeah.
Yeah. And we get to see Antifa for the first time. But I've been hiding in the Mother World's army.
Which one's Antifa?
The Blood Axes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's pretty much when I seen the Blood Axes for the first time, and they all step forward. One's called Milius, steps forward. And I thought they're gonna start complaining about fucking pronouns and shit.
That young he/she.
Yeah.
This fella.
She.
Is it a girl?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell because it looks like a boy but talks like a girl.
Yeah. That's what. So her name's Milius.
Milius.
Yeah, and I was thinking, oh fucking hell, this is literally Antifa back from like the BML riots and all that stuff going off in America. Yeah, and kicking off and calling.
Oh, is that why you call them Antifa?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought that was their actual name.
No. It's literally Antifa from America.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You know, the ones who like the paid people to go around doing riots and shit.
Yeah, so they come over and they say to the brother and sister who, to be fair, look like they have sex every night. Like, this grain farmer needs your help. Please come and help us. And it's like, I half expected the rest of them who they've already recruited to turn around and go, what? That's what we're fighting for?
Yeah.
Because you've not explained shit so far.
Yeah, so one thing that gets me about this whole scenario with everything, the farmers, right? The Viking village, right? Is that their whole planet or something? Right? Because they don't mention anything about anything other than the planet. Atticus is actually saying, I'll destroy your planet if you don't give me the food.
Yeah. Well, no, because obviously
So what, is it?
that port that they rode to where they went to the inn, to the western, where they go to Westworld, that's obviously on their planet as well. But yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because they ride horses there, don't they?
Yeah, okay.
Because the first time they go on the ship with Kai, he says to Gunnar, "Is this your first time in space?" And he says, "Yeah."
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true. But still, that is literally, right, aliens coming to the middle of bloody Bristol saying, right, I want some food. I'm going to blow your whole planet up. And then Bristol are like, all right, do you want to tell the government or anything? No, it's all right. We'll just deal with it ourselves.
That's what I was saying before about. That's kind of what I was trying to get across before about the different biomes and stuff like that. Whereas like they go to one planet and there's just kind of focus on just like one tiny little part of it. But you're right, it would be like them going to like Bristol and saying, "We want you farmers here to feed our troops and stuff. Otherwise, we're going to kill everyone." Like, well,
the whole planet.
I think like the other like 7 billion people on this planet might have something to say about that fella.
What's going on here?
I know, but it's just so yeah. Apparently they're the only, other than the port city. Apparently they're the only other people on there, and if they make all the decisions about.
And they have no weapons.
Yeah. And then it turns out like the rebel army is like 4 people.
That was it. That's all it came to their aid.
Yeah, but even when the whole rebel army's there's only about 12 of them to begin with, and he turns around and says, "Oh, I'll let them make, they're free men. I'll let them make the decision." And then she turns up and says, "I'll do it. Yeah. I'll come with you." And I was just thinking, oh God, I bet he was thinking, not him, not him, not her, not him, not him, not her, not them, not they.
He's like, why is she coming?
Yeah, why is this coming? And they all just basically just fuck them back off. They just fuck them off, don't they? But then they're back on the ship, and then
there's a lot of small scenes, isn't it, on this as well?
Yeah.
The way it just goes on, like basically it's just info dumps, a lot of info dumps.
That's what I mean. It's just literally the whole film is just a build up for what I assume is going to be that's the second one, which can't be any worse than this, to be fair. So we're back on the ship, and then she's talking to the Northern Irish fella again, Kai. And then
Solo.
And then I kind of forgot that he was even there, because he's just been tagging along for apparently no reason. Like I say, I'm not sure what the motivation for any of them is to be there, because so far all she said is this guy's village is going to get destroyed if you don't come and help us. They'd be like, who gives a fuck? Who really gives a fuck? You
actually made a good comparison to this the other day when I was speaking to you. Like the episode with Rick and Morty where they hate heists. So Rick makes a heist film where they just recruit random people just for the sake of recruiting random people. It is
literally, you son of a bitch, I'm
task.
It's literally like, they may as well have just gone, are you Titus? You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, that is all this is.
Yeah.
Because they are going from one planet to another planet. Nothing really happens. People join their little gang. And then that is it, really. It's like this scene with the Millennium Falcon. Han Solo. No, I'm sorry. I mean, with Kai.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's all like really exactly the same as bloody Star Wars with everything.
Well, that's it. I forgot Kai was even there.
It's pointless.
And then she starts talking to him, and he's saying, "Oh, you've made me an honourable man, and before I come and I'm decided I'm gonna come and join you, but before I do, we need to go and sell this shit that's in my cargo hold." And at this point, I'm thinking, dodgy fucker.
Yeah, straight away. And meanwhile, whilst they're having their like little love conversation, Atticus has arrived at planet Sharon and blows the shit out of Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, so
for helping the rebels.
He fucks
and
Jar
here's
Jar.
one I put on my notes, right? Like where the rebels at this point, what stayed behind, right? The whole army, right? After the king helped them escape, helped them food, and when the king's getting killed and the planet's getting blown up, they're nowhere in sight.
He beats him with his spirit stick again, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Beats up Jar Jar. No, I didn't even think of that, to be honest, where the rest of the rebels had gone. But I know the brother just does say to the sister rebel.
Are they brother and sister?
Yeah. No, I think they are, yeah. All I was thinking at this point is, do you know what this army could really do with? A Death Star. because it seems like they're going to destroy the planet and they're going to fire like little bullets like one at a time, and I'm thinking that's going to take forever. So much so that they decide that Atticus is going to fuck off and go and try and follow where the rebel brother and Cora and that have gone, and then says that the planet destroying ship can come and follow them later on.
Yeah, they actually call it a planet destroying ship.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's just like shooting like cannons down at it. I don't think it's going to be destroying the planet. Maybe the town.
Yeah.
You just done like a bit of an airstrike on the town.
At the very most, a county maybe.
Yeah.
But all I was thinking was, dude, he could have just done with a Death Star there. You've ripped off most of everything else from every other sci-fi movie. Just bring the Death Star along, Christ.
Yeah, they couldn't have a floating egg though, mate, in the sky. That's how I would give it away. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, just make it a different shape or something.
It's an oval shape.
Yeah. And then I noticed the red guy with his mosaic around his neck shows up again in this scene, which is just random as hell. I don't know what them guys are about. I really don't. But then we get to so Charlie Dunham's character decides he wants to go and drop his shit off from his cargo hold, and at this point, even the writers have run out of passion because the next planet is literally called Unregistered Trade Planet.
It is. It's like, what should we call this one? We've got all these names now. Like, even obviously the last one was from fucking Ozzy Osbourne. You know what I mean?
Sharon.
Right.
Planet Sharon.
But yeah, this one is basically a trade port, and the looks of it is a complete rip-off from No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it is.
It's the exact layout of No Man's Sky.
Again, going back to the biomes, this whole planet, and all it is one trade port. Talk about spreading shit out, man.
Yeah, but as unloading the items, like Cora noticed, is the bounty hunter from the trade post at the scene.
Oh, was it? I didn't clock onto that, no.
So we see the bounty hunters at the start, outside the Western Bar, when they take away the guy with the information.
In Westworld.
And then when Kai takes off the ship in the Westworld place, you see the bounty guy in a corridor watching the ship getting took off. And then when they're unloading the ship, it focuses on him as the ship takes off.
I was wondering, right, during that scene when the ship's taking off, I was wondering why he was just loitering.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a shot of the ship taking off, but now you mention it, I was wondering why is that guy just loitering down the alleyway watching?
It was him.
Why is that
and
creepy
then
guy
again,
there?
when unloading the ship, Koya turns around, sees him, and then sees him talking to Kai, and she goes, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then that's when the ambush happens then.
And then the boxes open up and it's them scorpion things and they all get captured.
Beetlejuice chairs.
Is it me or did you feel like this kind of like final kind of showdown was just seemed really rushed?
Yeah, a little bit meh, wasn't it?
It was very meh.
I reckon there's got to be a Snyder cut of this because it feels like they've got to miss a lot out.
This is the Snyder cut.
They've missed it out. They've missed so much stuff out of it. Like I say, it's completely rushed. They built up the story, and then they go so much info dumps every opportunity to get.
It seems to me, right, that they've decided that they're going to release these films into two, right? And they thought, right, so we'll release the first one where we're gathering the people up for the heist or whatever it is that's going to happen in the next one. So, they're all going around and son of a bitch, I'm in. And then they just thought, well, we can't just have a whole film where they're just going around gathering rebels up. We need some kind of action in it towards the end, but it can't be a final fight because you've got a second film coming. So we'll just give them a little taster, but we'll just rush it out of it and make it as crap as possible.
Slow-mo.
It's just pure slow-mo. So, and then they're all captured and they're all in these scorpion things. And then for some reason, they decide they're not going to put Gunner in one, the farmer guy, and then Charlie Dunham's character. So Atticus arrives, doesn't he, in his ship, and he's going around them all, and he's like going, "Oh, you're bloody Rick and Morty with the crows." That woman, the Japanese woman.
Yeah, it basically just goes through a bit of a backstory. Yeah, and that's the reason why Kai has actually been to these different planets, getting them so he can get a bigger bonus and get them all in one go.
Which, when you think about it, is quite clever of him because he comes in and he notices, obviously, he knows who she is. That she's obviously this guy's daughter and is wanted, is like the most wanted person in the universe, apparently. Even though at the beginning, Atticus looks straight at her when they're at the Viking longhouse and doesn't recognise her, even though she's apparently the most wanted person. Because you'd think if you'd seen her, you'd know who the hell she was if she's the most wanted person. You'd go, hold on, who the fuck's that? Bring her here now.
Yeah. Yeah, bring it
Anyway, so glossing over that, so he goes round and gives them all says he knows who they are. But yeah, so Kai's plan was obviously he recognizes who she was, and he thinks, well, while I'm at it, I may as well go with them and pick up a few people on the way to kind of increase the bounty. And he gets Six Pack McGee, he gets Samurai Jack, and he gets Titus. Fair enough, his plan, and he obviously gets the Blood Axe fella.
Mm-hmm.
So fair enough, his plan works anyway. So and then for some reason he decides that he's going to transport them paralyzed. And I'm pretty sure the whole reason this whole thing exists is just for this one scene. They probably just thought at one point, I don't know. So anyway, he gets the gun thing out the back of the Scorpion. So he gives it to Gunner and he says to Gunner, I know you're in love with her. You're going to paralyze her. And then obviously Gunner goes, oh, I'm sorry, pulls it out and then gets Charlie Dunham with it. And yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's just shit. And for some reason doing that unlocks the chairs somehow.
Yeah, so I don't know how, right? But yeah, the chairs unlock. One thing that really does piss me off about this whole scene now, right?
Yeah.
Is Kai gets killed. Cora somehow gets out the chair. She stands there for like literally 5 to 10 seconds. Everybody's just like looking at her going, oh, she's out. No reaction or anything. Not like thinking, oh, just shoot her or like do anything.
Yeah.
And then she picks a gun up, starts shooting around. And then, like say, a big gun battle happens where everyone's in slow motion. And then they start releasing each of us chairs one by one. But the rebel guy with the blood axes, he had his gun in his hand the whole time when he was on the chair. So he's in the chair with the Scorpion thing, right? Yeah. In his left hand, he's got the big rifle in his hand still. When he comes out of the chair, he picks his gun up and then starts shooting people. It's like, why has he still got his gun when he's been held captive?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, yeah.
I had to watch it back about 2 or 3 times. Like, has he really got his gun in his hand? And I was like, I think you have. You really have. He's still got the gun in his hand.
Yeah, so, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's really unusual. And like you said...
But the Japanese woman has her swords as well. Like, she jumps on the back of that ogre's back, and then all of a sudden she's got her swords. Flaming swords. It's like, where the hell has she pulled them from?
With that scene as well, she jumps on his back, gets the swords, stabs it into his chest.
And doesn't kill herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should kill her as well, surely. They're about 3 foot long. Yeah. His chest cavity is only about 1 foot wide, if that. It goes straight through his chest into her, and they roll around, and she just gets up and runs off.
And this is also where Atticus gives her the name Scargiver as well, or announces that name, the Scargiver. But to be honest, I've never been so bored by an action scene.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's just too much slow-mo.
There's too much going on, too much slow-mo, and it's rushed.
Yeah, really rushed. And you get a feel for it. This is where, like, it made sense when you said before he's wrote 300. Yeah. Because they're going like 300 mode about 5 or 6 different times. Even the rebel guy goes into 300 mode, running through everybody with a spear, starts fighting them all, then runs up to the gunner chute, which made me laugh, to be honest with you.
Oh, mate, that whole
scene. Because he jumps in slow motion, goes to stab the guard, misses because the guard just moves his head, and the guard looks at him and goes, yeah, no, shoots him.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
I was thinking as well, so these are military ships. They're made for outer space. He's in a gunner's seat. And I'm not being funny, you could go like to say the top of a skyscraper and try to put a spear through the window, and it ain't going to happen. So I'm pretty sure that in a military ship, an armoured ship, in a gunner seat, a spaceship, that you're not going to, no matter how fast you run or how strong you are, you're not going to be able to put a spear cleanly through the glass into the guy's chair anyway. But yeah, the fact that he misses and the guy just pulls his gun out and shoots him, it's like, I'm not being funny, dude. He's seen that coming from a mile away. You're right.
Because he's slow motion through the air. He's like charging it up. That's why he got through the glass. He's like doing a charger up.
Slow motion jump.
Yeah, he's like, little charge up meter.
It's like he just got stuck and he's like, come on, play the fucking thing. That was just what was he planning on doing there? But the rebel ships as well, when they start shooting at them.
Yeah.
They all fly directly. There's just one gunner and he's shooting straight. Yet all the ships come round and they fly straight into the line of the fire and head straight towards it. And it's like, why didn't one of you, like, I don't know, go around the back or the side or up above it or below it or just not? It's like me shooting at you now and you just running straight, deciding to run straight towards me.
When the gunner shot starts shooting the ships when they're trying to get inside the ships.
Yeah.
Like they run across about 3 or 4 ships. The end one gets blown up with her friend. She turns around and goes, yeah, fuck this. Starts running back. It's like, yeah, I'm not getting that ship. And then just stands there, gets blown up anyway. And let's top it off. When the rebel guy died, he thought, do you want it to be a good idea? I'm just going to get this big ship and I'm going to crash it into the place where my friends are on the bottom and just blows the whole platform up. It's like, cheers, mate. No, we was doing all right fighting them with guns and hiding behind these platforms. Now you just blew the whole bloody place up.
And then when he dies, she over her. No!
Looks like a little troll.
Just like...
What was a weird face?
All I was thinking was, who are you? You've been in the film like 2 minutes. Why are you getting scenes? And what, are you going to be important in the second one? Because if you are, I boycott.
No, that's... I think probably are going to be quite a big point by looking at the background behind us. We're seeing that Kai's in there as well, isn't there? Not lying up behind us.
Yeah, and then
we have a little bit of a fight then, don't we? Because Cora and Atticus managed to fall through the sky and land on a floating buoy.
Well, that's it. And then in the middle of this massive gunfight as well, you see Atticus just kind of walking around with his spirit stick, just don't have a care in the world. I hate in like films and stuff when there's massive gunfights going on and people just... I know you're a main character and you've got that main character protection going on.
Oh, yeah, they have.
But they just kind of just wander around like fuck all's going on around them. And it's like, I'm not being funny. You get down. Get behind something. Get some cover.
Definitely. What did you think about that fight scene?
I hated it.
It was pretty crap, wasn't it?
It was terrible. So the fighting on this like platform, this boy that's just getting higher and higher or whatever. I don't know what the hell they were on. To be honest, I can't even think how they even got on there. Why did she not just take a gun with her? Why does it have to be hand to hand?
Yeah, this is one thing that got me as well, because that's because actual pushes her off the side and she's hanging on a cable.
Yeah.
One, his staff is blunt, but yet this cable is like 3 inches thick. He manages to break it in one hit. Why did he do that? Why didn't he just pull his gun out, which he had the side of his leg, and just shoot her?
Yeah.
Could have been over and done with straight away. But then, because he's cut the cable somehow with a staff, Cora then actually uses the cable as a whip.
Like a whip, yeah.
Kicks his ass, but he doesn't actually do any fighting back. It's just like a domestic relationship where she's been on the piss and just like attacking him. Yeah. And he's like, oh no, sorry love, I don't hurt you.
Because she whips it round and gets his leg and does that, and he basically just lies on the floor like he's just been like knocked out for like 10 minutes. Like just wait till she climbs back up, and I'm just there like, just get up, dude, get up. You literally, all you've done is you fell on the floor. You're in a life and death situation. Your adrenaline will be going. Just get back up. Why? It's just, it was a shit scene.
It was, and do you know what?
It was
just
terrible.
Looks like he's holding back so much as well when he's fighting, because when she pushes him, she's using no force or anything, but he's like, sliding over, and then he breaks his arm, and then he gets pushed again, and then she breaks it again.
Yeah, and then she has hold of his arm and he breaks it, and like he's just, his other arm's just there, like, and it's not broken yet, and it's just like he like forgets that he has 2 arms. Like he can't just like give her a quick slap or like pull away or try and run away. And it's like, considering it's a fight to the death, I'm pretty sure that most people would put up a bit of a better fight than that, to be honest.
One thing I need to look at actually when I do the edit as well. Yeah. Because he got his teeth knocked out, didn't he?
Yeah, that was quite good to be fair.
Quite good, right? And then gets pushed off the side, thinks he died, but no, he comes back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right, but when he comes back out of the FaceTime thing,
yeah,
he shouts, doesn't he? Or gasps, like Neo from Matrix. All his teeth were there, weren't they?
Yeah. I never even looked at that, but yeah, a lot of teeth come out. So then she manages to stab him and push him over the edge, which is really all we can really say about that. And then they say, "Oh, this is a blow to the mother world." Is it? Is it though? Is it really? And then all I was thinking was like, where are all the other Nazis? How did they get beat by like 3 people?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how convenient is it that the other ships are going to return to the mother world? Because they say, oh, the other ships, now Atticus is dead, they'll have to return back to the mother world. Why not just rendezvous here and kill you 6 people and before they head back?
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure if they'd been taking out planets and civilizations, they could do with 4 people, no problems. But then they do like a little advantage stand, don't they? As the camera pans out.
Oh, yeah. They just kind of, just stood there.
Just stood on the edge with the wind blowing up. And they travel back to the village, and obviously it's the only village on the whole planet which feeds everybody.
Yeah.
And then we see C-3PO, he's gone a bit rogue with a crown made out of deer horns. I don't know where he's got deers from or anything, because the villagers have been hunting for years and years, can't get any meat.
He does a Leatherface, doesn't he? And just comes out of the cornfield, sticks his head up, and for some reason now the motherfucker's got antlers.
But then you don't see him after that as well.
All I was thinking at that point is, he ran off, and what the hell has he been doing all this time? Because he doesn't need to eat. Why is he out there killing deer and getting antlers and whatnot? I don't get it. Why is he stuck them in his head? But then they're going back and they see the village and they're all gushing over the view of the village, and it's like, why would half of them want to go back there anyway? They think they've had the little victory now and what have you, but now what, they're all just going to come and live at the village?
Yeah,
surely Samurai Jack wants to go home, or Six Pack fella wants to go back to his world, because isn't it mentioned as well? I don't know if you mentioned that he's some kind of prince of somewhere.
Yeah.
And then we see them picking up Atticus's body, and it turns out that he's kind of still alive somehow.
Is he a cyborg or something?
I don't know, because I was going to say that. How is he even still alive? And then it's them priest people, innit? Them red guys in red that kind of pick him up. And then I'm thinking, my God, they need to invent the mobile fucking phone.
Yeah. Generally, right, to describe it to people who have not seen it, if you've seen The Matrix, it's that, basically, when Neo comes out and it's like in the
reverse,
future.
Isn't it? It's like...
Yeah, so he's in like this like egg thing, or in the water. He's got all these suction things in his head and stuff, and then like levitates a little bit into the sky, and then it turns out he's then doing a FaceTime or a hologram talking to somebody, which is the Cora's
dad. Father, yeah.
Yeah, who took her in.
It's just weird though, because the guys pick him up from the planet. He's still kind of alive. They kind of start plugging him into this thing, which looks quite painful. He's got like some kind of socket in the back of his skull.
Yeah, Matrix.
Yeah. So they plug him in and they kind of lower it. And all I'm thinking is, Jesus Christ, if this is how they make a long distance phone call in this film, my God. I mean, like you're saying, and then he goes and meets Cora's dad, and they're in like this kind of ice lake or something.
Yeah, it's like an ice lake with like 40-foot. You can't be alone.
You know, all I'm thinking is he keeps banging on the ice, and I'm like, don't bang on the ice, mate. You're gonna end up going through there.
I kept thinking that was more of like the connection. No, it's like buffering a connection. Like,
Yeah.
It's just got to give it a little bit of a charge.
And then
How to hang up the call.
And then, yeah, they hang up the call and he drops out of this egg thing. And then these priest guys say, we're losing him, give him everything we've got. They pump some shit into him, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and the film ends. And that's it.
How many times did you think the credits would go start rolling?
About 3 times, yeah.
Yeah, at least 3 or 4 times. Because at the end of the fight, when they stood there with the Avengers, that could have been an end credit scene. And then they've gone back to their home base. That could have been an end credit scene with C-3PO running around Rogue. Then Atticus, again, could have been another one. And then it carried it on for a phone call. And then...
I know. It's like they almost couldn't decide what they wanted to keep for the next film and when they wanted to end this one. But all I've got to say is, so the film's over, so thank God. So I'm kind of, to me, is that still cheering?
Oh yeah, sorry. So it was a long cheer.
To me, I didn't know how to feel about this film, because it's kind of, it's bad, but if it's leading to something, at least it's got a second part coming. So if it's leading to something, then it may redeem itself in April when we see the second one.
I think it probably will do.
It may redeem itself, but like I said at the beginning, I think if I could go back now, if we weren't doing it for the podcast, I'd probably wait till the second one comes out, because like this one is literally all it is just set up for what I can only assume is going to be a good second film. But
yeah, there's just a lot of info dumps, isn't there?
Yeah, they're trying to put a lot of lore in. They're basically just going around the galaxy, just making a crew. They've not even, at this point, they've not even got an army. There's how many are there? Like 5 of them? 5?
If that, yeah.
5 of them against what I can only assume is, well, from what we've seen, is a giant effing army. I'm assuming Cora's dad's in charge. Like, we don't even know how that's happened. We don't know the backstory about how the king and queen and princess and why she's the scar giver. We literally get nothing. All we get thrown is we get a band of people who, at this present moment, I don't give 2 shits about.
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know who any of them really are. Other than maybe General Titus, who's apparently this brilliant general who led an army against the Motherworld or turned on them or something.
Yeah, that's it. Pretty much, mate. Pretty much.
It's just it falls short, and to be honest, to me it's 2 hours. 2 hours 15, and it's just
a long film, isn't it?
It's long. It's a long film for just gathering up a group of people. It's long. It's slow. It's boring. The main protagonist is just a moody cow, and I just didn't feel for any of them. The only thing I think kind of made up for it was I kind of like the Atticus fella. I thought he played the role really well, and I thought he was good.
Don't want to give anything away just yet, bud. Don't want to give anything away just yet.
But there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I hope it does get answered. I am going to watch the second one when it comes out in April just to see what this is. What actually goes on. But I know there probably will be a lot of people out there which will probably have watched that and thought, I'm not going to watch the second one because this one was shit.
Yeah, I can understand that as well, to be honest with you. Right, okay, we get into that part of the show where it's towards the end, and we have some awards, and also we're going to do the questions and the answers for the quotes.
Quiz, call it? The pop quiz.
Yeah, a little pop. I won't say pop quiz. It's more like quotes of a film, etc. from what we're giving out last week.
A little thing to play along with. Along with. Yeah.
I was thinking what we might actually start doing, instead of doing from previous weeks, I might do something at the start, and then at the end we could reveal what it is, just in case people don't obviously
aren't necessarily watching them in order.
Yeah, watching them in order or anything, because people watch different orders. But anyway, if you're watching them in order, congratulations, because you've got something to answer. So last week is this one. Can you guess what film it is from?
So I think we're all gonna be dead way before that. And you know what? I don't mind. It's an honorable end. But we gotta shut Steppenwolf down. Superman's a no-show. You got no powers, no offense. This guy might be working for the enemy, we don't know.
Well, this one's quite a good one because it could also link into this film as well.
Could do. It could do, because it's got a little bit of a connection to it, hasn't it?
It does, yeah. So that was Jason Momoa from Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut.
Connection, obviously, is
from
Zack Snyder and Fast X, which was last week's.
Yeah. So it could technically be used for both. It could be technically be used for this.
Yeah, it really can be.
Yeah.
So, do you like the way they did that then?
Yeah. I do. Okay. I honestly don't think it was intentional.
It was. It certainly was. What had they both been in?
I really
done a lot of hard research for this podcast, my friend.
Keep looking there for me camera, but it's
over there. Yeah. Moved it around again today. We have.
Yeah.
Okay, the quote from a film with a actor from this film.
Yeah.
Can you guess what it is? If you do know what it is, let us know down below in the comments, or contact us on email.
Fix it below, podcast@gmail.com. It should come up at the bottom there as well.
It should do. If Eric does his part of the job, right?
Yeah, if I do my part, yeah.
Listen carefully.
I'll have the Big Mac, please.
Great choice. But nothing beats 2 cheeseburgers with secret sauce. Goes great with this 45 Lafitte.
A classic pairing. And may I suggest Twinkies and a 1937 Chateau Yquem for pudding?
I like it.
So if you can guess what film that is, I'll play it again.
I'll have the Big Mac, please.
Great choice. But nothing beats 2 cheeseburgers with secret sauce. Goes great with this 45 Lafitte.
A classic pairing. And may I suggest Twinkies and a 1937 Chateau Yquem for pudding?
I like it.
Right.
I think I know what that might be.
It involves a character, or an actor, shall say, from this one is also in that film as well. If you know what it is, let us know down below.
I might know what it is. I'm not 100% sure.
The awards as well. If you want to play along with the awards, we have different awards to give out today. We have the best actor, we have the worst actor, best character, worst character, and 3 things you liked about the film, your personal rating out of 10, and where would you put it onto our Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
First up, the best actor, the King Kong Award.
Yeah, that's right, you better walk away. Go on, walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
That is right. Quality film. And that is from Training Day. If you know what film that's from.
Bit of our Denzel.
Best actor, who have you gone for?
Oh, it's got to be Ed Skirren, Atticus Noble.
I put that as well. 100%. Played it really, really well. At first, I was going to go for Michael Huisman as Gunnar,
Yeah.
I thought he played it really well. And then my second, there was and ahhing between him and Ed. And I thought Ed topped it.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really good. He played Sinister so well.
Yeah.
You know, he almost reminded me, like, not so much obviously playing the same character, but you know Christopher Waltz is in Glorious Bastards where he plays the Nazi guy.
Oh yes, where they go to Polish family and they got the Jewish family underneath the basement and he's sitting down having a note with them.
It's not like kind of on par with his performance, but the way he kind of like he's nice but sinister at the same time.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it gave me that vibes. Obviously, a bit later on, you find out that he's an absolute dick and what have you. Atticus is.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from for that one. Yeah,
but like when it starts off, when he comes out and he's all nicey and he gives him the hug and stuff like that, and you can see like, oh, this.
He's weighing him up.
Yeah, this guy's not really to be messed with, and like something's coming. It kind of gave me the same vibe as like Christopher Waltz in the beginning of that film when he's like you say the people are underneath the floorboards.
That's a great film, that isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Yeah, definitely have to give it to him. So we're in agreement with that one.
Yeah, Steven Seagal,
The Golden Seagull.
The Golden Seagull.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
Only Mr. Whisperer himself can get away with saying, "I'm going to take you to the bank." The blood bank.
The whispering man himself. The Golden Seagull Award.
Who have you gone for?
So I'm going for Nemesis, Bay Dunham, Samurai Jack.
Yeah, it's right. She was some pretty shit actress.
She was absolutely terrible. She wasn't in it much, but what she was in it, I didn't really give two fucks. She didn't sell it. I think it was mentioned that her family were killed at some point, but I don't care.
Yeah, I went for Milius. It kind of pissed me off, right? The little face that they're pulling when they were meant to be upset and screaming. The emotions were all over the place instead of it being proper.
I barely noticed her in the film, to be honest.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, sweet.
It's just like more towards the end of it, when the big fight was happening.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, your acting wasn't really that good. You look more like a spoiled brat. It's just had your phone took off you because you've been pain in the ass to your parents.
Yeah, I was thinking about them. I don't know what to call them. I don't know what pronouns they go by, so I'm just going to call her she. Is a girl in it.
Yeah. Well, they didn't state anything, so.
Yeah. So anyway, I was to be honest, they were a contender for it, but I didn't think they were in it enough to justify any kind of judgment on their acting. But yeah, she to me, it had to be Nemesis. So.
Yeah, I can understand from Nemesis as well, yeah.
If you got best character?
I've gone for C-3PO.
Really?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought it was really good how they done it. No, like, because like I said, the whole thing was basically CGI, wasn't it?
Out of all the characters, that was your best character?
I think it looked really, really cool the way they did it and the way it was acting like a human, the way it wanted the emotions, but it was trapped, but it wanted to break free at the same time. And then it was obviously confused, and when it ran off, and then when it popped up at the end, made me laugh a little bit.
With the antlers, yeah.
Oh, there you are, mate. You've been looking around, looking for days, haven't you?
I went for Atticus again, for character-wise.
Yeah.
I thought he was a good character. I thought he was, very, like I say, very sinister.
Worst character?
I've gone for Cora.
Cora?
Yeah.
Not for the main hero.
Yeah.
The worst character.
I just didn't buy her. She was too stone wet through, and she's supposed to be some kind of badass, just because.
Yeah.
Just because she happened to be taken on by, I don't care who you are, I don't care who your dad is or your adopted dad or anything. I mean, sure, obviously there's probably been some kind of nepotism in her past with regards to her dad being this high up general and stuff like that, but I just don't buy her being the badass she is. And I think most of it was I was just put off by how moody and gloomy and what have you her face was. I wouldn't have put her down as the worst actor because there were worse people out there, but as a character, considering she was the main character, I left the film thinking I really couldn't care if she had died at the end. I wouldn't have shed a tear.
Yeah.
She just like I say, she just seemed mopey and just yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah, who have you gone with?
I've gone for Marcus. South African rapist guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was a massive douche.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know, like the way he was like, say, he was picking on Jimmy at the start.
Yeah.
Just like for no reason, and started having a fight with that lad, but didn't really see anything about that lad after that, did we?
No.
He kind of disappeared, and yeah, he just seemed like an absolute twat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I suppose. To be honest, by the time I got to the end of the film, I was that kind of bored and what have you. I to be honest, when I started writing who my worst character and that, I kind of forgot he was even in it.
Yeah.
Because that just felt like a lifetime ago that I watched that scene by the time I got to the end.
Things you liked about it?
I like the bit where Jimmy shoots the guy without aiming. I thought that was really good. To be honest, I just wasn't expecting it, and I just thought, wow, that robot's going to turn out in the second one to be some kind of badass. I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be something. Yeah.
I like the CGI. CGI was good, and I've said it a couple of times. I really like the villain. I like Atticus. I think he played it so well.
I've gone for the overall CGI.
Yeah.
Mainly, like say the backdrops. I thought the backdrops were amazing when you seen like Jupiter or Saturn behind at the start.
Yeah,
they look fantastic. When they were shooting the guns in slow motion, the bursts of smoke coming out with the layers, I thought it was great. So overall CGI was amazing in it. Real like the scene with the Griffin. Because I like the mythical animals and stuff anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And one bit did make me laugh though when he was on the Griffin. Because when the Griffin's trying to get him off, he goes a little bit side on, and you can see in the bird's face, you can read it thinking, I'm going to get this fucker on that rock. You just see it all eyeing the rock. I was going,
yeah.
Got you now.
I got you, babe.
Yeah, and like knocks him off. I really like the Griffin. And I like the robot, like I said, the robot dude from the beginning. I put on that as well. I think he's going to be quite a good character in it in the future.
It does seem like, because it seems like he's going to bring more to it in the second one. But yeah, there's the fact that he just pops up at the end just as a kind of reminder that he is still about.
Yeah.
What rating would you give it? If you were the only person in the world that was given an IMDb score, what would you put it as?
I put it 6.
Did you?
Yeah.
I put it as a 5.8.
So what it is?
Is that what it is?
Oh, it's 5.6, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, I thought I'd throw it a few extra points, but for that particular film as a standalone, yeah, I'm hoping, like I say, come April, it's going to redeem itself a bit. But I've not, to be honest, I'm going in with quite low expectations for the next one.
Yeah. I can see why.
Yeah.
Right, and our next bit,
yeah,
if we can reveal it here now, if you're watching on YouTube, we have got 3 different categories. Yeah. These are our Wall of Fame. That have actually fit perfect in between the titles there, so have you. Didn't mean to do that, it's just coincidental. We've got 3 different ones. So we've got one to skip, worth a watch, and a must-see movie. Where would you place it?
I wouldn't say it was must-see, and I don't think it's one to skip unless... I don't know, I think because the new one's coming out, the second one's coming out in April, personally, I would say probably worth a watch.
I'd say worth a watch.
But I'd maybe hold out until the second one comes out.
Yeah, and so you see it all together over the weekend, one on one day, one on the other day. Maybe.
Yeah, watch them together, because like I say, I'm hoping the second one's going to be better, that this has all been leading up to something that's going to be good, hopefully, and fingers crossed. But I'd say for the time being, worth a watch. Maybe don't skip. I don't know. Want to skip for now?
I'd say worth a watch.
Worth a watch. Yeah, it's not must see. Definitely, there's nothing really worth seeing unless you're planning to watch the second one. But I'd maybe just wait till April when it does come out. But yeah, I'd say put it into worth a watch for now, and then maybe just see how the second one pans out.
Definitely, if you're into your sci-fi things like your Star Wars and all them type of programs and films, if you like that, then I think it's definitely worth a watch, because I did enjoy it. Being honest, it's
got potential. I'm really, really on the fence with it, because I'm curious now to see what's going to happen with the second one. Yeah. But at the same time, if it doesn't get much better, then it does feel a bit wasted. It does seem like someone's going to put a lot of effort into it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The CGI alone speaks for that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I found this one difficult to review, really, because like I say, it feels like it's almost like I feel like I'm reviewing half a film. That's what it feels like. It feels like I've not seen the end of it. I've not seen the conclusion of the film yet.
Yeah,
I feel like we could take any film out there. Like, I don't know, what one have we done before? Like, if I took Jingle All the Way and stopped halfway through and then tried to review it, that's kind of what I feel like.
Yeah, they have left it like that, haven't they?
I'm missing a lot of the story, a lot of the big picture. And yeah, it does. I'm not looking forward, but I'm curious to see what April's gonna bring and what the next installment's gonna be.
Perfect.
And where they go with it. So yeah, I would say for now, worth a watch in time for April, and we'll see what the next one brings.
Definitely is.
And if it does turn out to be a 6 and below, we'll hopefully bring you the second part, and we can do do them maybe either both together, or we can just review the second part.
Yep. And if you did enjoy the podcast, if you're listening on Spotify, please hit that 5-star rating. And if you're watching it on YouTube, please hit that like button, share it with your nan, and hit that subscribe.
Tell a friend, please. Yeah, like, subscribe, comment. It really does help the channel. We ask every week. It does feel like we're begging, but we want to make this channel grow, and
we're starting off on a big adventure.
Yeah, we want to continue, and we enjoy making these, and we hope you enjoy watching them. And anything you think, any comments you want to leave, if you think that we could do something better or anything, then feel free. We're open to suggestions. But yeah, you can also email us on 6andbelowpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. And by the way, when Erik says if you want to message us, and feel free. If you watched the first few episodes of us, Tourette's boy over there is like talking as if he's meeting his parents.
I know, yeah. I'm trying to calm it down a bit, because beforehand it was like F this, F that, F you, cunt, bitch, fuck, shit, wank.
It's all coming out now.
It's all coming out now, yeah. So I was full on Tourette's mode, so I'm trying to just tone it down a bit and trying to use my words and articulate a bit better,
Articulate.
But yeah. But if you prefer me like this, or if you prefer me in Tourette's mode, let me know, because I'll gladly go back to Tourette's mode if that's what you want.
I do love your rants, though, mate. I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
I do love your rants.
Yeah, it's just with this film, there's just trying to find something to rant about. But like I say, it's like I've watched half a film and now we're reviewing it. It just, I don't know. There's not. I feel like I've been nitpicking as well, because there's really not too much to criticize in the overall filmography of this. It was just the story, but then again, like I say, it's half finished. We've not concluded it, so
like you say, it's just that much to take in, and that's why they're trying to do it over the two stories instead of the one. Otherwise, if you do it over the one, I think it'll be too rushed at the same time. So like they're stuck in the middle, aren't they? Because they want this big new universe like Star Wars, where there's going to be 6 or 7 films, but
it's got potential. It's got potential.
Anyway, we'll go leave it there. So thank you very much for watching.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks
again. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Take care. See you on the next one.